Hello, people. Welcome to the Fair One podcast. We're catching the second round here of the Imavov versus Heinisch fight. We'll just- And yes, man. So welcome. We're just catching the second round here. Moving forward, I watched most of the first round. Man, Imavov he looks really good at times. He's got moments where he's going hot and cold. One of the things that I see, he's got a classical kind of, I don't know if I want to call it a classical boxing stance, but he definitely has a boxing stance with that lead leg turned in. And it's leaving him susceptible to getting kicked to the legs over and over and over. Another thing that I'm kind of critical of him because I'm actually a fan of his. I actually want him to do really, really well in the UFC. And I see him really susceptible to leg kicks. I see him getting leg kicked a lot. None of which is going to be helping him. He does when he's pressuring and he's coming forward on Heinisch, he does a great job, and he's able to touch him with a jab. He's very patient with that. But and he gets Heinisch to bite on the feints. So this is the start of the second round. They clash in the middle. He does get Heinisch to bite on his feints, and he does it really, really well. When he's a counter striker, so he likes to move backwards as well and wait for openings. But when he does that, he gets kicked to the legs like he just did then, and he kind of gets pushed up against the wall. But he's corralling Heinisch quite well, and he's changed there just quickly to southpaw. He needs to change that because he's going to get his legs butchered, whether in this fight or the next one. He's doing a great job of just making Heinisch move around the peripheries of the octagon. Heinisch comes in swinging with a right and a left. But see, Imavov, I believe, just watching like this, he's started to get the measure of Heinisch. He threw a front kick up the middle and caught Heinisch with a little hook as Heinisch was coming in. But then Heinisch lands those massive calf kicks. Good exchange there by both guys. Imavov having some... Oh, nice. Imavov, he defended the takedown, and then he hits a double leg on Heinisch and gets Heinisch down. This is very interesting. Very interesting. 3:31 to go. Let's see if Heinisch is going to be able to get back to his feet. But that was really, really good by Imavov, able to sprawl on Heinisch and then hit a double leg himself. Heinisch hits him with an elbow on the break. And as Imavov goes to cut Heinisch off, what happens is when you push someone up against a cage, they can only go left or right or straight through you. And every single time, Heinisch is opting to go straight through Imavov. Imavov is starting to look really good here. Other than the leg kicks, which I don't like, how badly he's taking the leg kicks, he's really, really doing a good job. He's starting to be really relaxed now. He's starting to get the good distance and keep Heinisch on the end of his jab. He could be a prospect. If he fixes a few things, he could be a really good prospect. His striking is pretty good, man. His striking is pretty good. And he's cutting I like that he's cutting the octagon on Heinisch. He's not following him around, which is... Oh, hits him with a huge jab. Then a rip to the liver, then a hook to the head. Great job by Imavov. Nice 1-2 to Heinisch, and then a knee. Heinisch is in all sorts of trouble. Well, Imavov is doing some nice ground and pound. He's signaling to the ref that Heinisch has had enough, but Heinisch he's holding on to the cage. I think they stopped it. They stopped the fight. This is the guy I wanted to watch. I'm really, really impressed by Imavov. There's a few things that I'd like to see him fix, but the leg kicks are obvious ones. But I'm a huge fan of him. Huge fan. The Russian by way of France hit him with a nice jab as he came in. That's the other thing as well. It looks like Heinisch went to the well one too many times with those leg kicks. And, Imavov had been timing that and hit him with that. That was perfect. Hud John says, I'm watching prelims cold ass morning in Perth. How are you, sir? Harry Kiriasa says, beautiful leg kicks by Heinisch. Well, they were good leg kicks. They were. But it was kind of all they had. It was kind of all he had towards the end there, you know? And it was only going to be a matter of time. Either he was going to really hurt Imavov or Imavov was going to get the measure. We Are Live says, morning, Fab. Randy says, good morning, coach. Marshall Smarter says, word up. Salah Ahmed says, you can tell Imavov trains with Cyril Gani. They have a similar bounce on their feet. Juice says, g'day. How you all doing? Kabir Udin says, hey, Fab, how's Rob? Great podcast name, by the way. I don't know how Rob is. I'm assuming he's well. Sasake says, greetings from Toronto, Fab. We Are Live says, anyone with V's and M's in their last names are not to be trifled with. That's true. That's true. The more V's and M's you have, the more dangerous you are. Marshall Smarter says, Die Hard 2 and Dodgeball are on. Two of the greatest films ever. Joseph says, what's up, coach? Drew says, I love watching a good body shot. Man, that rip to the body was a good one. You know, now we have, I'm really interested. I was really, really interested to see that fight. And he disposed of Ian Heinisch quite well, you know. Soriano is the next one that I want to see. Obviously, the Brendan Allen fight. It's really interesting to watch this new blood in the middleweight division. Much needed new blood, I will say. Young guy, Imavov, 26 years old or thereabouts. So plenty of room to improve. Rangy guy with a long frame, 6'3". But I think there are things that he has to fix because those leg kicks, Ian Heinisch, as tough as he is, as weathered as he is not a kickboxer. He has rather mechanical stand-up. And, don't get me wrong. When I say this only because I'm a massive fan. I'm a huge fan of Imamov. I like the way he moves. I like the way he fights. He's got a big frame for this division. I think he can do really, really well in the years to come. But in striking, you know, with the striking in this division, there's top heavy. There's some really dangerous guys up there. Salah Ahmed says, felt good picking him at 2.4 odds. Surprised he was the underdog, to be honest. Yeah, I agree with you. Leighton J says, could MMA become an Olympic sport? I think it could. I mean, it was an Olympic sport. It was the Olympic sport, the first Olympic sport. But I don't know if they want to bring more combat sports in. You know what I mean? Like, as much, you got to also understand something, like as much as they talk about, say, for example, I'm not saying that it couldn't. I just want to give perspective. As much as, and I love fighting, I love the UFC, I love all of that, right? So I'm just giving like an objective, real perspective. As much as people will talk about, for example, UFC's fastest growing sport, at these Olympics, you already had basketball. Now they got 3-on-3 basketball. You know what I mean? Like there's sports that are very, very, very popular and very, very, very mainstream. Oliver Ekman says, hey Fab, how you doing? Really good, mate. How are you? Sasek says, crack a card. Yeah, yes. I thought it was I thought that it wasn't that good at first, but then you know it's actually pretty good. Punahele Soriano versus Brendan Allen will be interesting, says Sasek. It will absolutely be interesting for the same reason this one was. If Heinisch went out and beat Imavov, then we don't have a newcomer. And in fairness to Heinisch, I don't see, you know, he didn't get past Gastelum. I don't see him getting past. He didn't get past Brunson. He didn't get past Gastelum. I don't see him getting through those upper echelons. But the problem with their upper echelon is that other than Gastelum, Rob and Israel, and even Israel is what, 32, 30, something like that. Even at that upper echelon, I don't, like, most of the guys are older. You know what I mean? Except for Gastelum, Rob, and Israel. So if Gastelum beat Imavov, I don't know like what that does for the middleweight division. I will juice in a second. Blood chokes and air chokes juice. Basically, when you cut the carotids that run here along the side that take the oxygen, which is the blood, which is the oxygen up to your brain, when you put a choke on the carotids there, it happens like within 3 seconds. If it's a proper good choke, your eyes can be open. It just goes boom. Whereas with a blood with like a strangle across the throat, you have to cut off the person's air supply, the person's ability to breathe. It's a little bit harder. It's a little bit harder to get that in the same way, and it's usually a little bit more painful. Person can move and struggle a little bit more, but a good blood choke on both the carotids, people go to sleep like almost immediately, eyes open, no problem. And the carotid chokes put people out like straight away. Yeah, Soriano is a strong guy, but Allen's got the grappling. Yeah, look, I'm going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see where Soriano is at as well. I think he's a young guy as well. So it's going to be interesting, man. Like at some of these guys' ages, like you can improve. Like if you've been training, consistently, you continue to train consistently, and now you've got some more money coming in because now you're in a big show. Yeah, man, you can get some really big improvements. Christian Lorenz says, "Can you agree? Yesterday was one of the more wild commentaries you have done. It was interesting yesterday, mate. For all the guys that survived and were with us yesterday, salute, because it wasn't easy. It was special. I believe I've lost a whole bunch of subscribers too, by the way. Stephen says, "Hey Fab, how are we? We are good, Stephen Morgan. Yeah, man. Sandhagen's good, man. Lean McHungry says they were going to drop wrestling from the Olympics, never mind adding MMA. That is 100% true. They were talking about taking wrestling out of the Olympics, which was the first sport in the Olympics. It caused an uproar and whatnot, and blah blah blah. And if anything, probably made wrestling a little stronger. But it's not. It's not. I don't see them adding more combat sports, to be honest with you. And in all honesty, there's a lot other sports that lend themselves to be more mainstream and more people wanting to watch, and one of them being, like I said, like they've added 3-on-3 basketball, and 3-on-3 basketball is a pretty, like, it's pretty widespread sport. Anywhere you go, people play basketball. People play that type of basketball too. People play half court basketball all over the world, in much greater numbers than what they do MMA, and that is something that you can't. No matter when you say something's the fastest growing sport, like UFC, MMA can grow, but they've got such a bigger window to grow, whereas basketball continues to grow, and it's hugely popular. So, and only like basketball and soccer only have to grow by 2% every year. I've just made that arbitrary number up, and it's still a huge amount of people that are playing it. Christian Lorenz says, and Marshall Smartest being a fucking legend with a thumbnail and immense support. He is a champion, that boy. He is a champion. Sasank says, Vittori is a young guy. Vittori is a young guy. You're right. I forgot about Vittori. Problem with Vittori is he's fought Israel twice, lost twice to Israel. In fairness to Vittori, with all due respect, I don't see him beating Rob. I just don't see it. Yeah, Till's young as well, but there is a lot, like, again, both those guys have lost to those two top guys. So I find it hard. I just don't see anyone challenging them at the moment. That's just me. That's just what I'm saying. So I'd like to see some more new young blood coming through that middleweight division, Yeah, I think it's going to be it's what's best for that division. But then you got a guy like Brunson who's lost to both those top two guys, but then he's beating everyone else. He's beating everyone else. So he's an impressive guy as well, in his own in his own right. He's doing a fantastic job. Sasank says Vittori can be a great middleweight. He's got to get his shit together. I don't know that he's got. I don't know what shit you mean. He's got to get together. You know what I mean? I think that he is doing well, and I think he is a good fighter. I just don't think he beats Israel and Rob. Charles says, cheers for doing the early morning commentary, Fab. Thank you, sir. Kenahuna says, Till has had 2 fights at middleweight. He's been there. Yeah, absolutely. He's been there. 100%. I don't see Till going back to welterweight. And I see Till, he's a good example. I see Till, once he gets a few things right, like, I just think he's still, there's a probably, and I say this with the greatest respect as well, there's probably a few maturity issues, like just not maturity, like, oh, he's an immature guy, just getting older. You know, he has to get a little bit older, he has to mature a little bit. And I think once a penny drops with a few things for Till, it's not even fighting wise, not skill wise. I think once that happens, he'll be very, very good because he's very experienced, he's very skillful, he's already very good. I did not watch the Joyce Tackam fight, Stephen Morgan. Juice says, are there any rules that you'd like to change in wrestling? I like it, but there are things I don't understand. Look, man, I've been away from Olympic freestyle wrestling for a while. I've been coaching mainly in MMA circles, so I wouldn't be able to tell you what rules. I'm assuming you're talking about freestyle wrestling, Juice, right? Freestyle and Greco. Out of the two, I don't know. There's always changes, man. The one of the things. Okay, here's one of the big things. The rules are changing constantly with freestyle and Olympic wrestling to the point that I just said what I said. Like I was working with the national team for years ago, albeit like 10 years ago. I was working with the national team, with the Australian national team for about 5 years, and I coached wrestling and I wrestled, and I don't know the rules now. I don't know the rules today. You know, of course, I haven't been paying attention to wrestling at the same level that I was before. But other than, of course, you know, the pinning and the blah blah blah, I don't know the rules properly, and that wouldn't happen. Like I played basketball as a teenager, and I played decent level basketball, and I still know the rules. Like there might be a thing that they do now, one or two little different things, but generally, I can start watching I can start watching basketball today, and I know all the rules. I know if someone traveled. I know if someone, you know, double dribbled. I know if someone carried the ball. I know if they should have counted that as a 2 or as a 3. I know if it was a charge. I know if they were blocking. I know why it was a charge or why it was a blocking. I know all of that stuff. With wrestling, they changed the rules so much that you don't know sometimes how long. Like if you're not watching it all the time, you don't know how long the rounds are. You don't know how long the breaks between the rounds are. You don't know if they're going to call. You don't know if you're going to push out or they're not going to, or those rules changed, you know, and they change almost year to year, you know, or every couple of years they change the rules. So I think, you know, it went from, just to give you an example, it went from, I think 1 years ago, mid 90s, went from 1 5-minute round to 3 2-minute rounds to 2 3-minute rounds. And the way they scored it was different. That's something that I would change with wrestling because it makes things, they're trying to make it so that you know, has more amplitude throws, bigger, more exciting, faster pace, kind of what's happened with judo, so that you know, it's easier on the eye. But it's hard to keep up with those rules, like Juice just said. I don't think that applies to folk style. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with folk style to that point, but I'm pretty sure folk style has been very similar for a long time. That's my thing. Sasank says MMA with UFC rules has too many health risks to do an elimination style tournament in the Olympics. It wouldn't be like this. It'd be like pancration type of thing. Christian Lorenz says would rather have MMA than 3-on-3 basketball. Yeah, but you're looking at it from people that are on an MMA forum. You get what I mean? The reality is most most people will have come into contact, played 3-on-3 basketball, not done MMA. You know, that's just a reality. People can go and train or something somewhere, and they might have done some MMA training or whatever, but 3-on-3 basketball, you like my daughter will play it for sure at some point. We'll play it, we'll put a hoop up in the yard. My daughter will grapple as well, but in general, if you look at it, 3-on-3 basketball is way, 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 way more popular than MMA. Christian Lorenz says, "Do you ever train or support the national amateur MMA team of Australia, Fab?" No, I don't. I don't have much to do with that at all. Christian Lorenz says Brunson has yet to beat Gastelum, Hermanson, or Cannonier. Agreed. Agreed. Moist Penguin says Eubanks beat her girlfriend up on tape and nobody mentions it or cares. I don't know what you're talking about. That's the truth of the matter. Kenahuna says if you're in the top in Rob's position, stuck as a top contender but not champ, what do you do from there? Someone like Chukagian. Well, Rob's gonna fight for the belt, man. So I don't know what you mean by that. Christian Lorenz says, and he's the oldest with an expiring chin. Agreed. Christian Lorenz says Till is still 28. Yep, young guy. He is a young guy. Moist Penguin says, why does Dillashaw still have fans after he used performance enhancing drugs, putting people's health and livelihood at risk? In reality, dude, I think there's a reality there where I'm not condoning this. You just asked a question and I've given you the answer is that realistically, I think deep down everyone knows that he's not the only one. You know what I mean? Not even close. Stephen Morgan says, I agree with you, Fat Mate. I live by Till's gym, and what I hear is he's not very focused ever since the Woodley fight. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I can take your word for it. I don't know that, but when I don't like to talk too much about that, but I'll come back to that. We're about to start. We kicked off Punahele in the southpaw stance, Brendan Allen in the orthodox stance. Nice high kick, left high kick by Soriano. Very nice high kick. He's got some power, man. I can tell you right now. He pushes Brendan Allen up against the cage behind a straight left. He's hitting him with a flurry of punches. Brendan Allen, he's got a concrete head, though. Brendan Allen with a right kick to the body himself. Massive left hand by Soriano. Kind of knocks Brendan Allen off balance, but doesn't hurt him. Brendan Allen with a right hand lead. The thing with Soriano is he does have power, but it's not that he doesn't have speed, but he's still not as refined a striker as you'd like to see. But he's a guy that if he hits you, you're staying hit. And I think he's got a lot of room for improvement, and that's a compliment, man, because he's very, very accomplished already. But I think that he's got a fair bit of improvement to make there. Nice exchanging of strikes by both guys. Oh, he hits. Soriano hits Allen with a nice combination. Allen's got a concrete head, man. Front kick down the middle by Soriano, then follows up with two lead left hands. There's not a huge vocabulary of strikes coming from Soriano at all. He throws that left hand lead with a lot of power, and he's got some good kicks down the middle. But when he hits, he really hits. Brendan Allen is starting to find his range with a nice stiff jab that's starting to land on Soriano. Oh, he throws a right hand lead, then a left body kick does Brendan Allen. The thing with Soriano is that you see him start to slow down a little bit towards the second and third rounds, and if he can't get Brendan Allen out of it, someone like him, I think he's going to have some problems there. Brendan Allen goes looking for the clinch, throws some knees down the middle. Some of them connect. Soriano goes now to the body with the left hand. Nice stiff jab by Brendan Allen. Inside leg kick by Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen's looking really good, man. He's looking really, really good. I think if this fight goes a little longer, like if this fight goes past the 7 or 8 minute mark, I think that Brendan Allen's going to run away with it. Because he's starting to land the jabs and he's starting to find a range where Soriano's not following him as easily. So he hit him with a 1-2 and then got out of the way for the Soriano counter. Brendan Allen with an inside leg kick, then goes with a big knee up the middle, then hits Soriano with a little right hand lead. Jab by Brendan Allen. That inside leg kick by Brendan Allen was really nice. He went inside leg kick to knee up the middle. I really like that combination, by the way. The inside leg kick and then you throw a knee up behind it. It's really, really good. The person drops their level. Staying on that jab is Brendan Allen, looking really nice. Nice knee up the middle by Brendan Allen. Both these guys have a great chin. Oh, the big exchange there in the middle by Soriano. Brendan Allen is starting to threaten a guillotine with 47 seconds to go. I don't know if he wants to, with 47 seconds to go, he might. I don't know if he's got the position there for the guillotine. He does not. He let it go. Ooh, throws a nice little elbow there on the break. Does Brendan Allen. Soriano comes back, hits him with a nice left hand down the middle. But after that 7 or 8, oh, nice left hook and right kick by Brendan Allen. After that 7 or 8 minute mark, though, the power behind the punches from Soriano are going to start to go down, in my opinion. The live odds have got Soriano now at a -370 favorite, but I don't see it like that. I really don't. Like, not that I don't think Soriano can win, but I don't know if I'd say he's getting that ahead. Nice knee right on the bell by Brendan Allen. Nice knee straight down the middle. Yeah, the thing was we were talking about with Till. No, just they're just things that I see, and again, I don't mean that as a criticism with Till. I just see it that, like, being a teacher and a coach for years and years and years, like with Till, I see that he's still got a lot of potential. Like, he's still got a lot of potential that I believe he will realize at some point. Like, he will um, probably turn the trick a cup in. He's very, very talented. He's just still a little bit loose. Oliver Ekman says, in the Izzy fight, Marvin seemed to not be listening and would get mad when his coach would say he lost the round. Yeah, I don't look into stuff too much, man. Like, the relationship between a coach and an athlete is like it. It's not necessarily like that's their private thing. So you're putting a camera in the middle of what they're having a conversation between the two of them. Who knows? You know what I mean? What he has to tell himself as well, like, he has to tell himself what he has to tell himself to fight. And he didn't do that bad against Israel. It's just that Israel does not match up well for him. You know what I mean? Same as Rob does not match up well for Till, for Vittori, because you saw how Vittori fights, and he does well against other people, but not guys like Israel and Rob is bad matchup. So we've always started off action-packed second round. We kick off with big exchanges by both guys. Soriano would still be fresh now. The next 3 minutes are key for him. If he can get Allen out of there. Hit him with a nice left hand. Yeah, see, now the live odds have changed to Allen -160. And nice rip down the middle with a knee up the middle by Allen. He said nice body rip and then a big knee up the middle. Inside leg kick lands by Allen. Soriano's definitely slowed down a little bit. Allen's doing a fantastic job. Nice rip again to the body by Allen. Soriano's starting to look in all sorts of trouble. Oh, another kick to the body by Allen. And then a jab. He's starting to land almost at will on Soriano. Another stiff right hand by Allen. Big left hand by Soriano. And then Allen goes looking for the takedown. Soriano's slowing down immensely right now. He has a lot of talent. He has a lot of potential, but a lot of that is masked by the fact that he's got a lot of power. So you don't get to. I don't think he has had to. It's not a criticism. I don't think he's had to develop certain things. And he may go back to a drawing board, and this may need this. May ask him to make some changes. It's not what his coaches can say because it's him as well. What if this is he's never really faced adversity of this kind. Good combinations by Brendan Allen, big knees up the middle. Soriano goes looking for big hooks on the tie clinch. Brendan Allen so composed. 2 minutes and 33 seconds. Soriano's now hitting him on the cage. They're exchanging, but Soriano's shots are becoming more labored. He doesn't have the same pop on his shots, and Brendan Allen's starting to land big shots on him. Nice jab by Brendan Allen. Oh, left to the body by Soriano. But Soriano's breathing heavy now through his mouth. Big feint by Brendan Allen, then kick down the middle. $155 to go. I think this third round, if Soriano can't land something to Brendan now, it's not going to happen, and Allen's going to run away with this fight like I predicted earlier. Brendan Allen's a very, very composed guy. Shows you how good Sean Strickland is too. Nice kick to the body by Brendan Allen. Was caught by Soriano. Now Brendan Allen's getting out of the way of those left-hand leads by Soriano by a fair stretch. 1 minute and 13 seconds to go in this second round. Brendan Allen is definitely starting to run away with this fight. The start of the third round will be a little bit dangerous for Allen, with Soriano being a little bit fresh after the break. But then after that, I predict it to be all Allen. 53 seconds to go. There was a low shot. Christian Lorenz says, Dillashaw lost a lot of fans. Oliver Ekman says, Fab is a great carry game in basketball. No, I do not, sir. No, I do not. 40 seconds to go. Minus 1,400 live odds for Allen. I don't really see Soriano winning from here on in. I don't see him having the same power anymore and the same pop on his punches. And he hasn't really done enough damage to Brendan Allen. Nice work. Nice work by Brendan Allen. Another big body kick. Another body kick by Brendan Allen. Knees down the middle. The third round, man, we could see a finish in this third round. Moist Penguin says, wrong, Oliver. He actually did what his coach was saying for a fair amount. It just wasn't winning him the fight, and he couldn't get the takedowns, ground control. Coach was not helping him win that fight. Yeah, look, I think, like I said, Moist Penguin says he just kept repeating the same things that wasn't going to result in Marvin winning. Look, you can't blame the coach there. You can't read too much into what is being said, because that's what happens. You're in the corner, right? And you know what you can say and what you can't say to your athlete. The reality is, Marvin wasn't going to beat Israel, man, unless he caught him with something flush, right? Like, he wasn't going to beat Israel. It doesn't matter. Like that the coach you can only ask your guy to do what he can do. You can't ask him to do shit that he can't do. So the coach can only say that. So then, like, how that interaction, the coach can only ask of his fighter what his fighter can do, and the fighter can only do what he can do, and he can feel what he feels. So I don't think there was a problem there. I don't think Vittori was wrong for feeling what he felt and for thinking what he thought, because he has to be in there and believe that he can beat Israel. And the coach can only ask of him what he can do and what he knows Vittori can do, you know? These are very experienced coaches, man. Like Cordero is a very, very experienced coach. So the problem is, and again, I'm not criticizing anyone. The problem is you put a camera in there, and then the commentators, their job is to say stuff and to critique and blah blah blah. So it just builds into this narrative. But end of the day, dude, it's like you putting in a, a camera into someone's living room, you know, and the interactions that occur inside the family home. Like, if you take that snippet and go, "Oh, look, he must not love her, or she must not love him," and it's like, nah, they had an argument that day. That's what happened. You know what I mean? That's all. Um, yeah, and that's why those conversations between two people that are very close, it's they're saying there's a lot of shit that's being said that you don't understand. You're not privy to that conversations. 350 to go in this third and final round. Um, like I predicted, Soriano started off quite strong, but he hasn't got the pop anymore. And Brendan Allen is coming forward now. Nice body kicks. Oh, big shot landed by Soriano with the left hand. But Brendan Allen's keeping him at the end of that jab. And he's going to look for this inside low kick, I believe, from Brendan Allen. Nice, man. Nice. Comes off the center line, does Brendan Allen. Throws a right hand lead. Now, this playing here, this is see that they're playing like grabbing each other's hands, that playing. That's what something that Sandhagen does very, very well and opens up the body rip with that. So look for a body rip coming from Brendan Allen if they're going to start hand fighting. It's a very, very good thing to do, especially if you're long. It's a good way to get in on the body rip. Nice body kick again by Brendan Allen. And gets slides out of the way of the 1-2 from Soriano. Inside leg kick. That was the inside leg kick I was talking about, guys. And there's a nice outside hook. What a fantastic job by Allen. Those body kicks are really starting to be money for him. He went up high with that kick. Really, really good job by Brendan Allen. My computer's frozen. Now we're off again. Great job, man. Really, I'm really impressed with the way that Brendan Allen is looking. 2 minutes and 16 seconds to go. Nice combinations there by both guys throwing in the pocket. But the power, like the thing is, I don't see, like I said, right at the start of the fight, like Soriano does what he does well, but I don't see a broad vocabulary of strikes from him. And I think that if he addresses that, I think he's going to be very, 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 very good. Very good. It's round 3 is close in the significant strikes, but I see Brendan Allen leading this dance. And I don't really see Soriano strikes with the same significance as Allen. Allen just threw 2 big body kicks to him then. That definitely wouldn't have tickled. Another 1-2 landing by Allen. Great work by Allen, by the way. Another right hand by Allen. Big left hand by Soriano. Big body kick by Soriano. Brendan Allen smiles at him. Ooh, nice elbow inside there by Brendan Allen. Nice body kick by Brendan Allen. Nice little jab lands by Brendan Allen. Big knee up the middle by Brendan Allen. 32 seconds to go in this round. I believe that Allen has won this fight quite clearly. That's my opinion. But I'm not judging the fight, so I don't know. 17 seconds to go. Allen's landing some nice shots, man. Some nice stiff job. Nice 7 seconds to go. Another big elbow landed by Allen. Both guys swinging for the fences in the middle. That's the bell. Nice work. Juice says, on maturity, I feel you learn how to win. Like I play ball and there's younger kids faster than me, more skillful, etc. But I just know how to win a game. Don't know if I'm making sense, but do you see that in MMA? Yeah, absolutely. I think the best example of that is Usman. And I think a lot of times experience and Marshall Smartest will be good to answer this. Um, being your academic background, but I think that a lot of the times experience and maturity go together. You see Usman, he knows how to win games, right? So experience and maturity a lot of times go together, but you can be experienced and then for whatever reason you don't have the maturity to go with it. Um, so the experience will solidify your skill sets, and Till is very experienced, but I think that in maturity wise, he still doesn't have like certain things where, um, like I can't talk on Rob because I know Rob personally and I worked with him a lot on a lot of things, but I can see other guys that the maturity has just it hit, you know what I mean, and they get it, um, and they get what it means. I think one of the people that I'm talking to now that I'm doing a little bit of training with, is like and they're pretty decent, but there has to be in their respective sport, there has to be a point where you understand like we're either going to do this or we're not, and we're either going to go the whole way with this or we're not, and so you have to start to force yourself into a level of maturity where you understand that like you can't expect extraordinary results with ordinary efforts, you know? So you have to have extraordinary efforts with extraordinary results. Maybe getting extraordinary results. You may not even get the extraordinary results. So, and that's not anyone can train hard one day. Anyone can. Anyone can be a good dad one day. You know, it's doing it every single day. The grind. That's what gets people. That's what makes a big difference. There's a lot of people, people go, I don't need to go to university to be smart. I don't need a piece of paper to tell me that. No, you don't, right? You don't. That's true. There's heaps of people that are smart. But what that piece of paper says is that you could at least turn up and one way or another finish a degree. I finished a degree. I'm not particularly smart, but you have to give people that. I've got friends that finish PhDs that I don't think are necessarily geniuses, but they did the work and they went and they did the work every single day, and that's what that's saying to you. And I think that that's where their maturity comes in. And when someone like Till, I don't know him personally, right? I don't know him, but when someone like Till, I think that that clicks over, I think you'll be very, very, very good. Um, it's a hard thing, man. It's a almost imperceptible sometimes. That small thing where you go, fuck yeah, and you understand the difference that you can make. That small difference you can make from you. There's certain things, man, with athletes like with people that I train. I have a spreadsheet. They have to write everything in that they do. They have to monitor their load, etc. Da 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 da. And you see like everything that they do is on paper, right? And so then you start to look at it and you really understand how many sessions you've missed, how many sessions you didn't miss. And you just start to see when you start to hit all your sessions and all the things that you start to do, and you do like 6 weeks of that, you really see the big improvements. Sequential learning is the most important thing. The most important thing is not where you train. It's not like, provided, of course, like I said, you can't be stuck in the middle of the Pacific with 6 other people, and you're not. But like when people go, "Oh, you got to go overseas because blah blah blah," you don't. You really don't. If you find good striking coaches, good wrestling coaches, good jiu-jitsu coaches, big fucking part of your training, most of it is already done. What you have to do, though, my friend, is get to every fucking session. That's what you have to do. Marshall Smarter says Valetudo tournament in the Olympics would get as many viewers as the best UFC pay-per-view. I agree with that. I fucking agree with that for sure. Juice says if you think about it, more people play 3 versus 3 than 5 versus 5 basketball. 100%. That's why it's in the Olympics. You know what I mean? That's why it's in the Olympics. Like every lunchtime, and I'm talking about Australia, every lunchtime across all of Australia, there will be a group of people in every school that has a basketball hoop, which is most schools, playing 3-on-3. That's in Australia. I cannot think of what it would be like in Lithuania, in, you know, Serbia, in Croatia, in Slovenia, in you know, all those Balkans countries. Of course, in the US, you know what I mean. In South America, basketball's pretty big. So yeah. Moist Penguin says the racist morons in the NBA ruined basketball for me. Um, there's heaps of racist morons everywhere. Don't let that ruin basketball for you, my friend. Kenahuna says, why is the peak of an MMA athlete career so far later than most sports? Is that combat sports in general? I think, again, it goes back to how big fighting actually is, and it's not as big as people think it is. The promotion's huge. The UFC promotion is huge, but there's a few things that happen. Like, if you play rugby league in Australia every year, like the SG Ball, the under 18s that finish, there's a whole stack of these kids that are training like they're basically professional athletes from about 16 upwards. And the top of the pyramid, it just gets harder and harder. Like, it's harder for a 32, 33-year-old guy in a collision contact sport to be competing with these kids that are coming through 18, 19 years old, ready to go, been training professionally, probably younger. Probably I'd say to you, more or less training professionally from about 14, 15 years old. Soccer's the same, basketball's the same. So you don't have the same kind of peak, you know, you don't have the same ability to peak. Like, there isn't the same amount of depth in MMA as there is in those other sports. That's just how it is. Another thing is with combat sports, a big thing is experience. It's a mano a mano sport, but a big thing is experience. Like, and in a fight, if when you get to that age, like 30, 31, 32, like, you have experience and you have your physicality. The longer you can keep your physicality, the more you'll be able to apply your experience, you know. But I do think that if you were to have like everyone that like if you were to have like everyone that plays in the NBA, so to speak, like those numbers and those levels of athlete, if you were to have those guys in the UFC, you probably wouldn't see as old a peak a lot of the times, because there's just more numbers of more younger, hungrier guys coming through. Um, Gary the Goat says, "Good morning, Fab. Happy Sunday to you." Yeah, so I'd still say, Kanahuna, the peak of most MMA athletes is around 31, 32, which is consistent with, and the peak is not does not last long. Like, the peak goes and then down. You still have some outliers and whatnot, but like we've spoken about it before, like, I haven't seen too many of those outliers that haven't tested positive at some point, one way or another. So you're still going to look at the peak being 31, 32, 33, around there. And that's pretty much consistent with any sport. Like, you'll see people 28 to 33 around there. Not much after that. You'll have outliers, but generally not. Can I fix the clock next fight, Ekman? I can. Hassan, which fight are we on? We're about to kick off now. We're about to kick off the main card. I think, yeah, the two up and comers looked really, really, really good. Like, as far as like the matchups were really good for him. I think Brendan Allen is a tougher out than Heinisch. For those guys, not that Heinisch isn't tough. It's just, I think he's just a little bit more composed, more well rounded, just in a better point of his career. 1 foot out the door says, yeah, don't go to the fridge during that fight. Yes, Yanez versus Costa. That's going to be a crazy one. Yes, sir. 1 foot out the door says you can give that advice. It's still up to the fighter to take it. The thing is, dude, like, it's like, if you talk, I don't know if we're talking about, if you're talking about Cory and like, and Rafael Cordero, the thing is, you you can only give the advice that your fighter can do. You know what I mean? Like say you're coaching, I don't know, a guy that he just hasn't got that. You can't ask a guy that hasn't got a world class guard to go out and pull guard just because Ryan Hall did it and it worked for him. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to work. You know what I mean? That isn't going to happen. You can only ask what what the guy can do. Um, I'm going to skip a few. Win Morgan Owens says, got to say, I agree with you for sure. USADA have become far more secretive with any sort of release with these things to save face for the UFC when they used to release all of that. Um, I think that at the time they needed to come in when with USADA, it was more because they were going to sell the company, and so they had to show that look, we're making the sport legit and blah 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 blah. I don't think they're looking for to catch people really. You know what I mean? Hassan Ahmed says Vittori did well against Izzy, in my opinion. People are too harsh on the man. I think he did as well as Vittori was going to do. You know what I mean? Like he did as well as he was going to do. People love to jump on people and shit on people. He did as well as he was going to do. Um, One foot out the door says Rafael Cordero known for shoot box, not wrestling heavy game plans. Man, you should go and look at who Rafael Cordero is, man. He's fucking legit. He's a legit coach. One of the better guys around. One of the better guys around. Guy that understands fighting, man. Rafael Cordero. People should get up real fucking early in the morning before you're criticizing a dude like that. Like, um, I'm not. I don't think he's fucking God or anything like that, but um, he knows what he's doing and he knows what he's talking about, you know. And he's got his good fighters, you know what I mean. He understands, and people lose fights, dude. You know, don't look too much past that. Um, Win Morgan says, you know of paying attention to the analyst Jack Slackfab. Yeah, man, I shouted him out here the other day. I think he's very good. You know, I don't listen to as much of it as I'd like to, but yeah, I think he's great. I think he's brilliant. Like I really do. There's another guy, English martial arts, that I like listening to as well. One foot out the door says, think Allen did enough. You can tell he worked a lot on his stand up. Yeah, he won that one for sure. Shaka Graham, he says, morning, Fab. Good day, all. Marshall Smarter says, well said as always, Fab. Thank you, sir. I wanted to know what you thought on that because I know your background on that. So I just wanted to get your take on that. Um, One foot at the door says, take criticism without taking offense to it. Um, who are you talking to, one foot at the door? Are you talking about Cordero? The other thing is, it depends who's giving the criticism because people say that, but it depends who's giving the criticism because some people aren't. Like I can't criticize someone. Like I don't know. That's like me telling people, look, dude, you know, be a good husband, be a good wife, whatever, blah blah blah. Be a good partner. You know, I saw that you know you weren't talking to your wife that well. Meanwhile, I'm at the brothel. I'm at the brothel 3 days a week. I'm not gonna. I'm not in a position to criticize someone. You know. Um. So yeah, that's one of the things. I don't know if you're talking about Cordero should take the criticism or if you're saying Vittori. And I apologize if I'm not clear because I'm trying to read the comments best as possible, and sometimes it's not it's not at the same thing as what I'm talking about. But yeah, but it's hard, man. I don't know that necessarily Vittori was offended by his coach. If we're talking about Vittori being offended by his coach, I don't know that he was, you know, because that shit that happens in the heat of the moment, it's not that accurate, dude. It's not like you're putting in a microphone into rather intimate conversations, you know. Um, and I do enjoy these conversations, guys. So thank you very much for humoring an old crazy man. Um, Marshall Smarter says he may need to have someone show him the feeling that he's giving to others. Marshall Smartest, maybe a spreadsheet can tell him that. Maybe. I don't know. Oliver Ekman says, you drinking straight oil, Fab? Yeah, man, that's when you know you're a hard man. No, it's green tea. Ilya says, Uncle Fab, how did you make the transition from a wrestler to being a wrestling coach for MMA fighters? I never like always I guess I always like I started doing taekwondo and striking stuff as a little kid, like when I was about 5. But it was never my thing. Like I was never like into fighting. I never liked fighting or anything like that. And I like the wrestling and I like the grappling, but I would definitely say that I would have always gravitated towards combat over wrestling or jiu-jitsu or taekwondo or whatever, like combat in like its purest forms, um, as opposed to wrestling or jiu-jitsu proper. So the transition wasn't that big, wasn't that hard. It was just something that was very normal. That's what I did. Um, I can't really say to you, oh, I did it this way because guys would come in, and I always watched fighting. I always watched boxing as a kid. I always watched. Always been around guys that boxed. I always been around guys that did taekwondo, and they were all better than me. You know what I mean? I wasn't particularly good at it, but I was always like kind of introspective, and I like to have conversations with people. And so by the time I was wrestling and coaching wrestling, and fighters would come through because they wanted to learn how to wrestle, I could give, and people ask me because I never am one to go, this is what you should do, but people would ask me stuff. I think there were things that I was saying that made sense to them, that resonated with them. 1 foot out the door says old man strength. Yeah, sorry, 1 foot out the door. I just want to apologize because I don't know exactly what you meant, and so I didn't mean to maybe I didn't answer it correctly. That's all. Kanahuna says, what are your thoughts on Uriah Hall? How does he turn around a fight so quick? Even if you don't take damage, wouldn't the cut be brutal? Um, I think it's been a little while though since the Weidman fight. In fairness, like it's been a good 6 weeks, I'd say, if not more. Like I think it's been a bit. Um, so he didn't take any damage or anything. Like and the weight cuts don't have to be brutal; they're just not nice. But again, this is what I said to you before. If he's a lean guy and he's walking around lean all the time, he's only losing the water that's in his muscles. He's not. He doesn't. I've seen him off camp. I've seen him like in Vegas and that, and he's lean all the time. He's not like a big. He doesn't get big and fat. So I don't know that it'd necessarily be brutal. Hakers Stu says, I saw his 9-year-old. He looked better than most amateur fighters. He was like a state champion, everything. He was fighting some poor kid. Oh boy, he threw them and armbarred him. It was crazy. Yeah, I hate seeing the little kids fight, though, to be honest with you. Randy Costa has a 3-inch reach advantage. Yeah, I don't like seeing the little kids fight a lot of the times because as a kid, you can have a massive discrepancy in skill and size and physical maturity and that. And I think people make too much of kids, especially nowadays with social media and that the parents get fucking mad. Uh, Oliver Aikman says, I like seeing Dom on the commentary for TJ. Very interesting. Yes, I agree. Al Kayumi says, what is the timer next to you for? For the rounds, my friend, for the rounds. Sometimes I get excited and I don't put the timer on. Juice says, random question. Let's say I'm right-handed. If I only train with my right foot forward, can that offer any advantages? Can I throw KO jabs or something? Sorry if that's a dumb question. No, there's a lot of people that do that. There's a lot of people that are natural right-handers and train southpaw. Um, You'd have to. My advice to you would be go and box properly, and learn to box properly from like build a good solid base of boxing, and you'll start to understand if that's the best way for you to fight like southpaw or orthodox. Whatever comes more natural for you. But there's a lot of people that fight like that. Juice says, I ask because my right ankle's fucked, so it feels better to have it as my lead foot for the moment. Then do it. And a lot of that with a jab is also the placement. You know what I mean? If you can place a nice stiff jab, that's going to hurt people. We're off, people. We're off. Do not blink, people. Yanez in both guys in orthodox. Yanez in blue. Oh, left high kick by Costa right off rip. Yanez with some nice hooks in the middle. These guys are going for it right off the bat. Man, these guys can move. These two bantamweights look good, man. And Costa again looking for the high kick switching stances. He ends with an oblique kick. Costa again looking for the high kick, then switches stances again. Giving a lot of different looks. He's giving a lot of different looks. He hits nice body kick there with a left kick. But man, these kicks that are coming, they're coming from the southpaw and orthodox. He keeps switching stances, and it's hard for Yanez to get a read. Now, the thing is Costa going to be able to do that for 3 rounds? I doubt that he's going to be able to do that with that explosiveness and that movement for 3 rounds. But it gives, man, that head hunting with the high kicks is going to create a lot of problems for Yanez. But Acosta's going to have to settle at some point. Like, he's not going to be able to keep throwing those bombs right off the bat. But it was good for him to do that. Yanez is looking for the low kick himself. Oh, nice 1-2 landed by Costa. Nice right hand over the top by Costa. Costa's landing a lot of shots. He doubled up on the jab on Yanez. He's landing three jabs he's landed on Yanez so far. And he goes looking high for the kick. 1-2 landed by Costa. Another jab landed by Costa. Nice low kick by Costa. Costa's now got Yanez moving along the peripheries of the octagon. He's keeping Yanez on the end of that jab and then sliding out of the way of any counters. Costa's looking absolutely fantastic. This is one of the things when people were talking about Yanez, I hadn't. Ooh, Costa looks like he hurt his leg. I hadn't seen enough of Yanez, to be honest with you, against the upper echelon guys to be able to say to you, yeah, his striking is that good. Right now, he looks like he's being a little bit outclassed by Costa. And that's what I say to you. You have to see the people when they move up, against, like, Sean O'Malley looks great at the moment. I don't know what he's going to look like against Aldo. I don't know what he's going to look like against fucking Costa, to be honest with you. Costa is banging up Yanez, man. Just banging him up. He's jabbing him up, landing jab after jab. This Juice, you were asking about the jabs. This is a jab. Fantastic job. Yanez looking for a jab of his own. Nice right hand counter by Costa. Yanez is starting to land some shots. And again, we're going to see now in the second round, as Costa starts to settle a little bit, but he's landing so many jabs on Yanez. And he's really using that advantage, that height advantage that he has. Yanez goes to double up. Nice right hand over the top by Yanez. We have ourselves a fight, ladies and gentlemen. Yanez coming forward now. Yanez doing a good job coming forward on Costa. Costa trying to jab and establish distance and establish some respect from Yanez again. 1 minute to go in this round. Good exchanges there. Nice. Ooh, nice oblique kick by Yanez on Costa. Man, Yanez has taken so many jabs. He's taken 51 jabs to the head. If I read that stat correctly, I don't know, because I just glanced at it. But I know he's taken a lot. Whatever number it is, I don't know what it is, but he's taken 40 too many jabs, whatever the stat is. Really good job. Nice oblique kick by Costa. By Yanez, rather, sorry. Sorry, guys, I'll skip a few people. And that's around. Christian Lorenz says, I would love to see a spar between Cordero and Sahabi, Behrman and Jackson. The reality is, I don't know really what it proves because it's got nothing to do with how good any of them are as coaches. Hassan Ahmed says, and yeah, I don't know. Hassan Ahmed says, unrelated, but I rewatched Avengers Endgame and felt super upset all over again. Huge Marvel fan. I am in case any of you didn't know, says Hassan Ahmed. Paul Martin says, Fab, you the man from Scotland, brother. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Um, okay. He's doing really good throwing those kicks. Is Costa, man. I really like that. That question mark kick that he threw then was really good. Landed right in the head of Yanez. Yanez taking some shots, dude. He's got a good chin, but got a good chin. But he took some shots. Nice kick by Yanez. I like that. I like that Costa gives him the different looks. See how he switches stance? Like when he switches stance, it's important. Costa has to switch. When Costa switches stance, it's important for Jans to switch stance with him, or for Jans to start initiating some switches because otherwise he's reactive to Costa. When Costa switches stances, he knows that he's going to switch a stance. He knows what he's going to do when he switches a stance, and he knows what angle he's going to attack from. So if he switches stance and Jans switches stance with him quickly, it takes away the angle that Costa made. But if not, Costa's able to create the angle and get off first. Oh, oh, oh. Yan's starting to come forward a little bit. Like I said, I don't know what this fight will look like if Costa starts to settle a little bit. But Yan's starting to land the jabs. Oh, nice counter right hand by Costa. But Yan's starting to apply a little bit more pressure in this round. Costa hits him with a right hand lead. I love how these guys are boxing though, dude. Like they're not loading up too much. They're not loading up. They're just a lot of the times that's another thing people do. They load up too much. These guys are just touching each other. But man, make no mistake, it really hurts. It really, really hurts. Yan's coming forward now. Costa up against the cage. Costa's just defending now, just has his hands up. He's been dropped. He's been dropped. Yanez is all over him. It's over for Costa. I don't know if he hurt him or if he got injured. Costa's not fighting back, man. I think he got injured or something happened to him. He just kind of just disappeared. I don't know if he got hurt. I don't know if he got injured. I don't know what happened there. But regardless of what happens, Yanez won. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he got rocked. I couldn't see that clearly. I just saw that at one stage he just stopped and he was just defending, like just had his hands up defending. I'm really, really curious to see. So he's already got his hands up here. I haven't seen before it. Boom. Yeah, so these combinations are landed, but he already had his hands up, and then he got hit with that big uppercut. But I don't know what happened prior to that because he just stopped attacking and I don't know if he got hit with a body shot. I don't know if he got hit and hurt. I don't know what happened prior to that sequence of events. Um, yeah, I don't know what happened. It was a great job, man. But I don't know what happened. But hey, he got it. He won. He did. Both guys look good. Both guys look really good. Jake Cake says, I don't think Bobby wins a belt without you in his corner. The return. I think Rob will be fine, mate. I think he will be just fine. Beetlejuice says, morning, Fab. How's COVID affected the gang? Um, Hassan had COVID, but he's recovered, and I'm glad to hear that. And just the lockdown, man. How's the lockdown affecting you, Beetlejuice, man? How's everything going with you, man? Um, Christian Laurent says, "Does Fabulous Ite have many brothels in Sydney or secret BJJ clubs? I have never frequented any of those nighttime establishments. Actually, never been to any of those places." Hassan Ahmed says, "Oliver Ekman, is that Muay Thai guy a spammer?" Oliver Ekman, I don't know Hassan Ahmed. I'm watching him closely. Get him, guys. Get him. Alka Yumi, is it a 10 millimeter? I'm not sure what that means. Um, Muay Thai says, I'm from Straight Blast Gym. Where? In Ireland or where? Because Straight Blast Gym is a franchise. Um, Nathan Fenner says, how do you think TJ will do tonight? I can't see him closing the distance without getting starched. I don't know. Like I said, I think um, TJ is an enigma. Um, I think TJ's an enigma. I don't know how, I don't know how he's going to look. You know what I mean? I don't know how he's going to look. Man, both these guys, I was really, really impressed by both these guys. They put in such a fucking amazing performance. I really, really do think that, like, Jans did really, really well. So did Costa. It was just a great round. I really, really liked it. It was just a great fight. Um, Jack Borman says, love the Catman Uncle Fab. Down jackets undefeated. Yes, sir. Muay Thai says, Juice, you have to earn your mod spanner like I did, bro. Alka Yumi says, thanks for the perfect name spelling. Only a few can do it. Ken Ahuna says, who do you think is a good matchup for Izzy? If none, is he going to be like GSP and go through everyone twice? I think Rob's a tough matchup for Israel. I think Rob's a tough matchup. I think it's a tough matchup for both of them, but Rob's a very hard matchup for Israel. It's not an easy out for him. Um, but other than that, I don't see. Oh, the body shots. Oh man, wow, that was a crazy fight. It was one of the best fights I've seen in a long, long time, man. Really, really good fight. Really good. TJC says Costa has a tricky style to figure out. If he's got the skill and the will, he could be something special. Paul Martin says I'm a southpaw and Muay Thai fighter, and I'm right-handed. Phil, my left arm is a hook machine. Right jab is solid. There you go. Yes, different people are going to feel different about it. Juice says interesting. Thanks for the feedback as always, Fab and the gang. Uh, the champion says much love from Wales. One foot at the door says Yarn's range ain't working. Got to mix it up. Uh, Win Morgan says Wales is repped heavily in this chat. So let's, yeah, he started covering up though already. That's when I'm watching the replay. He was already covering up and he was no longer attacking. I don't know what had happened. I don't know if one of the body shots had hurt him earlier. But then those body shots there, they wouldn't have tickled the last ones. But he'd already shelled up. That's why I'm curious as to what had happened prior to that. Beetlejuice says, "Hey Fab, thank God as a trainer assessor, I'm considered an essential service, which is great. Being busy, a lot of people who are not working are catching up on licenses and short courses during this time. That's more or less me, man. Like because I was a trainer and assessor for TAFE, and I was as a TAFE teacher, but I left TAFE, So then I was doing some private work, and that's all finished. Now I'm just concentrating on finishing my masters and that. Um, I'll be back in a second, guys. Alka Yumi says, what is my prediction for Volkanovski versus Ortega? I think Volkanovski's going to beat him. I think Volkanovski is a really good striker, very smart with the way he does stuff. I think the other thing with Volkanovski is a diesel engine. Like, he will keep that pace going the whole time, you know? He will keep going the whole time. Very, very physically strong. Very, very, very physically strong. One of those people that it's pretty hard to get a read on until you're actually in there with him, like, which is what a lot of those champions have, you know? It's a real different thing. Like, the way that Rob has his timing down pat and his speed and that, you don't realize that until you're in there with him. How long Israel is and his timing, you don't realize that until you're in there with him. Max Holloway, same thing. You don't realize that timing that he has and how good it is until you're in there with him. And Volkanovski, you don't realize that the timing and his striking until you're in there with him. And his fucking strength, dude. Like, I've known Alex since he was a little kid, and he was always like a big, strong kid. But you don't realize how big and strong he is. And even now, like, when I'd seen him like trained with him a little bit, and you don't realize how strong he is, how big he is at featherweight until you start moving around with him. Then you realize, hang on a second, this guy's not, you know, he's not normal size. He's not a normal size. He's not normal strength. He's special, man. He's special strength. And that's very different as well. Ortega's a big boy too, man. Don't get me wrong. But I just think that he's just, I do think that he's gonna beat him. I think that Volkanovski's gonna beat him. One foot out the door says DeVito is ducking. He is, man. He is. I believe he is. So I'm just skipping a few. Andre says, Yanez has beautiful combination, super fluid. I hope he works on his head movement after that performance. Oliver Ekman says, is a Chinese tourist acting up, Fab? Look at her. Look at you little Chinese tourist. Kane says, would you fight Francis Ngannou for 200 million in MMA? I'd rather fight Danny DeVito for 1 million in MMA. That would be that's the best answer I can give you. Yeah, I'd rather fight Danny DeVito for 1 million than Francis for 200 million. I don't need much money, mate. I have everything I want. I don't want to fight Francis Ngannou and he changes my life as I know it. I'd rather fight Danny DeVito. I'd fight Danny DeVito for 500 grand, right, rather than fight Francis for 200 million. That's me. That's easier money. That's fucking smarter to me. You could end up not being able to spend that money from Francis. Win Morgan Owen says Volkanovski is proof that rugby is the best base for MMA. Mate, he's interesting little fellow, mate. He's very, very physically strong. But he's not a meathead physically strong. He knows what to do. You know, he knows how to use his strength. He knows how to use. He's got very, very good cardio as well. As Marshall Smarter says, you're right. Take the low hanging fruits. I think so, man. I think I would rather the fight. I would rather that fight with Danny DeVito. If you guys can make it happen, people. Oliver Ekman says Fab would fight Danny DeVito for $500. I would fight Danny DeVito in MMA for 500 grand or 250 grand. I'd fight him for 250 grand and I wouldn't even hurt him. I would just look for a submission early, you know, but I have to keep my hands up because I've got a low center of gravity. And I think in those early 1 or 2 minutes, he'd be dangerous, dude. You know, he's got low center of gravity, swing. It's kind of like a Walid Ismail kind of type of person, you know. I've got to be careful the takedown as well. And he'll swing with big overhand rights and lefts. So I've got to be careful with that. But once I can get Danny DeVito on his back and start to pass a guard, start to grind on him, start to work on him, Be careful not to give up the positions once I get him. You know, start hitting and hitting until he turns, and then I can start looking for a choke. I can start looking for dust chokes and whatnot. I've got long arms. I think that that could start to work in my favor at that point. I think I'll probably get him out of there in the first round, and that's what I'd be looking for. That's me. Marshall Smarter says, would you have a fencing match without protection against him for 10 grand? Nah. No. There's too much margin for error there. Like, I could get poked in the eye, etc., and it's just not worth 10 grand is not worth it at all. No. And Jordan Fatness says, watch out, DeVito will hit you with a trash can. I think he's a good guy. Oliver Ekman says, butterbean type guy. Andre says, Fab, do you know anything about Blood Diamond? I saw the UFC signed him. Volk told the fans he'll be a problem in a few years. Only what you guys know. Only what you guys know. 1 foot out the door says, feeling old with these stats on youngest fighters. Been watching since 1996. Yeah, it's crazy, eh? River Trash says, Kane, you're starting way too high. I'd fight literally anyone for 100 grand. Mate, you might not get to spend your 100 grand if you fight too many people like that. You know? Sorry, I'm just looking up the fights in that. Now, I don't know too much about Blood Diamond other than what everyone else knows. I haven't seen like enough of him. He hasn't had like a whole bunch of MMA fights either for you to be able to go like, this means this or this means that or this is what he'll do. But yeah, man, like he's good. Like from what I've seen, he's a good kickboxer and boxer. But I haven't seen him enough against the top end competition in what do you call it, in MMA, if you know what I mean. So who knows? He looks fucking good. Don't get me wrong. He looks good. So where's the thing? DeVito, Alexander Bandwidth says DeVito is known to grease. I think he'd just slip out of your subs, get on top, and ground and pound. And it'd be hard, man. Once he's on top, his short levers work against me. You know what I mean? It'll be hard for me. I have to like that low center of gravity. He'll push forward, get his hips above mine, his chin above mine, and land some nasty ground and pound. I can try and throw up arm bars, but the combination of him having greased and having short limbs is very, very hard, man. Very hard. And that is a real danger for me. I'd probably go like, I'd try and up kick him, get some space, or go throw an arm bar up, go try and get like a knee bar or something from there, and then try and stand up from it and keep him at range. And then it'll get ugly because he's going to try and close the distance on me and he'll come in swinging and I have to move, use my footwork, and I've got bad knees, and try and keep him at distance with my jab and front kicks, So, and he looks like a switch hitter to me, He looks like he has power with both hands. So, man, I don't know. It would sell. I think it would fucking sell on one of those cards. It would absolutely sell. So who knows? Joseph says, Coach just finished eating arroz chaufa de mariscos for dinner. It was amazing. What did I miss? P.S. Need my weekly dose of Uncle Fab's story of the day. Hashtag moist. We're off. Barber versus Maverick, number 13. Fights number 14. Barber being number 14. Maverick in the southpaw stance. Maverick in the southpaw stance. Barber scooting the outside of the octagon. Both girls not engaging, but Maverick doing a good job. She's kind of holding the center of the octagon. She's got the southpaw stance. She's looking for the low kick, I believe, and the left hand lead down the middle. Just nice little jabs. There's a kick and went high, but yeah, she fainted an oblique kick at them there. I don't know if these girls. 4 minutes to go. Andre says, do you think a fighter coming off a long layoff could potentially be more dangerous? Yeah, look, it just depends on what happens. That's why I say to you, I don't know if it'd be more dangerous, but he could have gone out and reinvented himself. He had 2 years to reinvent himself, and that can work as well if he's worked diligently in that time. That can be dangerous as well. So yes, in answer to your question, could be from that perspective. It could be a TJ that you haven't seen before. That's why I'm saying to you, he's an enigma. I don't know. He might come in a bit rusty. He might come in, with a whole new skill set. Who knows? Um, okay, I'm just looking here. Sorry, guys. I'm just missing. I'm going to skip a few guys. Sorry. The Dark Lord says, "Do you think Izzy really got in Rob's head? Like how? Why? Like what? He that's like one foot out the door. It's hard to prepare for them. You don't know what they've been working on. That is one of the things. Yeah." Oliver Ekman says, "Hang on, Kane. Hell, get to you, homie." I don't know. I missed one. Kane, if you want to put something here, I had to skip a few people. Sorry. Oh, Kane says, "Who wins, McGregor from 145 or Max Holloway from his last fight?" That'd be a tough fight, man. That'd be a real tough fucking fight. McGregor in his prime versus Holloway in his prime, because Holloway wasn't in his prime when he fought McGregor. I don't know at 145. The problem is that I don't see and in a five rounder, not in a 3 rounder. In a 3 rounder, I think McGregor still beats him. At one like prime McGregor at 145 still beats him in a 3 rounder. In a 5 rounder, I think Max will probably beat him. The prime Max will beat him. That's my opinion. Um, Not a lot has happened in this women's fight. Maverick moving around on the she's holding the center of the octagon while Barber scooting along the outside, but no one's really engaging massively in this fight. 1 minute and 31 seconds to go. Barber continuously moving outside on the peripheries. Bit of an exchange there by both girls. But this happens a lot in women's MMA. Like they're kind of fighting, some of these girls are fighting just outside of each other's range, like not really engaging. It's it's quite prevalent in women's MMA actually. Um, Albert Ridham says, first off, good evening to the best commentator. Are there any pros to train and spar like the axe murderer did during his pride? Are there any pros to train and spar like the axe murderer did during his pride days? Fucking hope not. But there's a lot of guys that still spar. It was way too hard. One fight out the door says it's weird that McGregor was a superior grappler when they fought Conor versus Max. I don't think it's weird because Conor was much further along his career than Max was. So he was much more the complete fighter out of the two. 33 seconds to go. Um, I got Barber winning this round, but only because she's pushing forward and holding the center of the octagon and landing a few strikes here and there. But not a great deal has happened in this round. Not a great deal. Um, so yeah, sorry guys if I've missed a few people. I just had to skip a few so that we'd be a little bit more caught up. That was a bit of an exchange there. Andre says, "What do I think is holding Barber back from reaching the next level?" I don't know, but just I don't know enough about Barber to be able to give a proper answer. But um, I just watched there. They don't seem to be really engaging, dude. And I think she's not really in a position to land big power shots there. One foot at the door says, uh, I remember a story of Shogun and Wanderlei arguing over a baby dog, so winner got to keep the dog. They fought until there was a KO. Yeah, and Vanderlei's got the dog. Um, Alexandra Bandwidth says Barber's much better when she just bangs like she did early in her career. Says Alexandra. New Way says, "Hey Fab, Volk or Ortega? Volk." Um, I think so. River Trash says, "I just saw a video titled something like 'Fighters react to exciting fight with Van Zant versus Ostovich.' I hope they promote the hell out of that fight, my friend. Joseph says, finally happening, Coach. Jan versus Sterling, October 30th. Let's go. River Trash says, all I could think of was Fab begging for a finish so he could walk his dog. I'm not going to lie, I was. I was. Again, Maverick with a bit of a blitz coming in. Look, there's not a hell of a lot. Like they're just outside of each other's range when they. Oh, nice leg kick by Maverick. A nice leg kick. Yeah, Maverick is landing a bit more of the strikes, but they really are outside of each other's range where they're fighting. Like they're not really. Yeah. Kane says, "Do you think Holly Holm versus Tate is a good next match, and who wins?" I don't know, man. Like again, probably Holly Holm. I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maverick is definitely winning this fight. Marshall Smartest says, "Ooh, thank you very much, Marshall Smartest." And I will read this. Something in the way she moves attracts me like no other lover. Something in the way she moves, in the way she woos me. Don't want her to leave her now. You know I believe and how. I'm going to read that again. Something in the way she moves attracts me like no other lover. Something in the way she woos me. Don't want to leave her now. You know I believe and how. Now, that's brilliant. I found it hard to read that though because of the way it was written there. But I hope I did it justice, my friend. Thank you. Alexandra Banworth says Barber is just shadow boxing out here. She used to really get in the pocket and clinch and go for it. Now they're kind of wrestling up against the wall, but they were just kind of shadow boxing up until this point. And I had Maverick winning the shadow boxing. 1 foot out the door says, "What would Tate give Holm a favor and give her the fight? Holm has little hype right now." David Morris says, "Fab, clearly not a Beatles fan." I actually am a bit of a Beatles fan, but I just couldn't read those lyrics correctly. I I'm finding this fight really hard to watch, man. Like it's not like when they're out here, they're not really engaging in the striking. Barber now starting to come forward a tiny bit, but not really, not a great deal. Win Morgan says, "Any thoughts on why head and arms are so much more prevalent in women's MMA? Can you elaborate on that?" Oliver Ekman says, "Fab reads the chat a lot more during the women's fights." Now, you know what? It is true, but it's not because they're women. It's because a lot of the times the fights aren't that good. I'm just being fucking straight out. Win Morgan Owen says, "Head and arm throws, that is." I think the level discrepancy is just it's just not there isn't a depth that kind of depth in women's MMA. So you can have girls that are decent at judo and wrestling, and girls that have just no fucking idea of judo and wrestling. So it's much more prevalent to see that. Whereas you'll see a lot more like guys that both guys are very very good grapplers. So it's hard to do that. Now Maverick has her back. She's got both hooks in. Barber is almost face down. She's still on her knees though. She's trying to kick one of those hooks free. But Maverick has a good position here. I'd like to see Maverick get one of her arms free and just land some ground and pound, man. Just land some damage. There we go. Just land some shots. Don't go for the submission. Land shots. Big shots. Big shots. Hit her. Hit her. Hit her. Hit her. Hit her. Hit her. Cracker. Cracker. Time. um, Marshall Smarter says, "Did that whoosh? Laugh out loud. Excellent rendition, Fab. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much." One foot at the door says, "How many times do we see a fighter get that takedown and give their back to a rear naked choke?" Joseph says, "At Oliver Ekman confirmed, Coach Fab dislikes women's MMA." It's ironic. I have trained girls, and I'm kind of talking to a girl now about training her. I don't dislike women's MMA, but there is a reality in that the skill level, like you have your Shevchenkos, you have your Nunes, you have like high level girls, but the drop off is huge. Like it hasn't got the same depth. Rose Namajunas, like there's a lot of girls that can really fight, and I enjoy watching them fight. But then there's a big drop off in skill set, like in a lot of the girls. That's that's just me saying the truth, like the being objective. Where are my marbles? Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate the support. Really, really do. I have to say that. Thank you so much. Oliver Ekman says, "Hey now." Marshall Smarter says, "Hey now." Marshall Smarter says, "Don't dream it's over." I'm really, really, really impressed by you guys putting that together, the two of you. Original Sin says, "Coach Fab, something by the Beatles, very famous songs. That was the lyrics you read just now." Thank you. I appreciate that. One foot at the door says Straight Lives Matter. Where I'm a marble says Shevchenko versus Nunes at 135. What do you think? I think Nunes. I think Shevchenko's a little bit more. She's a little more technical, but I think that Nunes is just a little bit bigger. And when she cracks with a little bit more power, and she's just a little bit bigger. Um, not. I think though. She's more technical though, Shevchenko. But I'd probably have to go with Nunes. Okay. So 350 to go, 355 to go in this third round. Barber steps in with a double right hand. Maverick continuing to push her forward. Both very wary of each other's power, standing just outside of range. We have a classical southpaw to orthodox matchup. There's not a lot of stuff happening here, man. Um, Yeah, I do remember the clip one foot at the door of Rousey shadow boxing, but in fairness to Rousey, she had actually legit skills. You know what I mean? And you saw when you put her up against the other girls, like her level of grappling was too high for like it was a massive skill discrepancy with until she obviously faced a few of the other girls in that at the top end, like a Nunes, a Holly Holm that have legitimate skills. I'm not saying these girls don't have skills. The top end girls do have skills, but the drop off is huge. It's really, really huge. The same can be said for heavyweight men's, man. Heavyweight men's, you'll have, you know, 10 really good, decent guys, but then from there on in, the drop off is huge. It's not like lightweight men's. That's what it is. David Morris says straight talk there about WMMA. That said, it's still a big and growing women's sport. Even MMA meatheads have come around to respect the top girls. Man, I respect all the girls. Don't get me wrong. I'm a father of two girls. I have a wife, I have a sister, a mother. I respect women. It's not that. It's just like saying to me, like, I'm the captain of the men's fucking netball team. No disrespect to the guy. I'm sure he works hard. There is a men's netball league, but it's not men's basketball. It's not the same, and it's got nothing to do with the sport. It's just hasn't got the depth. You told me that you're the captain of the women's netball team. I know you're a fucking good athlete because I know the participation levels of women's netball in Australia is huge. So the girls that are the top end of those sports, they're fucking good athletes, dude. They're really, really good athletes. Um, it's just not the same thing. Um, Joseph says, I think Nunes could be the champ for years to come. Nobody can match up at all. Yeah, I think it's a big ask. Again, I don't see who. One foot at the door says serves her right for mocking her dad's suicide. I'm not aware of that. Can you tell me what happened. I don't know. Barber's putting on some pressure here on Maverick. 55 seconds to go. She's putting some pressure up against the cage. She's trying to get the takedown with a body lock. She's not being very successful with it. I don't know who wins this fight. Maverick needs to break free and spinning elbow by Barber. Nice work, Barber. Another shot by Barber lands. A big right hand landed by Barber. High kick landed by Maverick. Oh, really? The Carrera told Rousey. Okay, that's pretty awful, man. TJC says Valentina is the only one that can beat Nunes. I thought she won the second time they fought. Yes, it was a crazy close fight. It was a crazy close fight. Um, wow. Okay, that was the round. Well, hopefully, Marshall Smartest, the next fight will have us glued to our seats with excitement and anticipation watching it. And we have Darren Elkins versus Darrick Minner fighting in the featherweight division. Joseph says, had a conversation with a friend today. He said Gaethje has better leg kicks than Lima. Long story short, we are not friends anymore. They're very different. They're very different because both Lima brothers will hit the periphery of the octagon and they'll go around the octagon and then they set up their leg kicks as you walk forward to them. Gaethje pressures you and goes forward and throws the leg kicks from those positions as he's pressuring you and moving you backwards. Lima catches you on the leg kick as you're walking towards him. So they're very, very different. Win Morgan, I agree with you. 1 foot at the door says, don't really care who won that one. Uh, Marshall Smarter says it was a DDR battle. I don't know what that means. Um, Neither one of these people can get upset if they lost this if they lost this fight. I think Maverick won. If I had to pick someone, I'd say Maverick won. Emmanuel Vishega says, who do you have winning the lightweight belt, Dustin or Oliveira? That's an interesting one, man. I think that early. Oh, Barber won. I think early in the fight, Oliveira is very, very dangerous. You know, he's got crisp striking. He's got good takedowns. He's got really good submissions and a really good guard. Um, and both guys are dry. You know, um, but Dustin loves the grind. He loves to put the diesel engine on. He loves to, get into those dog fights. And if it gets out of that second, third round, I have Dustin winning it. Early, I have Charles Oliveira winning it. Having said that, that doesn't mean that it can't go the opposite way, but I think there's more probability of early it being Charles and later it being Dustin. Kane says people often overlook the fact in Nunes versus Shevchenko, one, Nunes was declining badly in round three, and had it been a 5 rounder, no way Nunes wins that fight. That's true, but it wasn't. 1 foot at the door says gross to offer congratulations afterwards. Marshall Smarter says DC looks hungry. um, yeah, I'll be back, people. All right. There's a lot of congratulations happening. A lot of people happy. The daughter's happy. I'm assuming it's a daughter. Husband, mother, father, everyone's happy with Barber. And congratulations to her. I'm really happy for her to get the win as well. Tough day in the office for Maverick. Let's move forward, girls. Let's go back to the drawing board and let's upwards and onwards. Great show. Thank you so much. One foot at the door. Okay, Marshall Smarter says, I can handle this. It's what I've been training for. Chuck Les says, so is the lack of depth in women's MMA due to a lack of women who want to fight and or a lack of training opportunities. So is the lack of depth in women's MMA due to a lack of women who want to fight and or a lack of training opportunities? Well, the training opportunities are there. There's not like there isn't an opportunity to train. I just don't think that there's the numbers of women that want to fight. The numbers for every 100 people that come through the gym, only one of those people is going to fight, actually want to fight. Out of that, then you need 100 of those people for you to find one really good one. You know what I mean? That come through. Like the numbers of people that actually want to fight are fucking low, you know? And the numbers of women that want to fight out of that is probably less than men as well. So it's not like, it's not like there's heaps of people wanting to train. Alexandra Benworth says, sisters, that's her dad. Okay, fair enough. One foot at the door says, Dana, never leave it in the hands of the judges. Again, I think that's like a kind of silly statement because nobody wants to leave it in the hands of the judges. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely based as politicians speak, Fab. Oh, man, I'm just telling you what I see. This Sean Strickland guy's good, man. He's real good. I think he's going to come forward on Uriah Hall a fair bit, and if he because he's got to avoid being in kicking range of Uriah Hall, he has to come forward and make Uriah Hall move back. The anomaly with Uriah Hall is that because of his spinning kicks, he can actually throw them and time them as you're coming forward on him. But Sean is a bad motherfucker as well. He's got really good ability to come forward, slip your punches and counter. So you can slip to the left, slip to the right, and just counter back. He likes to slip to the right and counter back with that right hand. He's a very, very mean guy, man. He's a very good fighter. Oliver Ekman said, DC flat out said he doesn't agree with the decision. I thought the other girl won, but it's not. It wasn't like it's not one of those things where you go, oh my God, the judges, they don't know what they're talking about. I thought the other girl won, but it wasn't like a fight where you go, oh my God, this thing, in my opinion, it was whatever. One foot out the door says, House always wins, don't blame the judges. I agree, man. That wasn't like a fight that you can go, oh my God. One foot out the door says, she lost the decision by losing the last 30 seconds of the fight, coasting. Yeah. She didn't. She had 15 minutes to do a whole bunch of other stuff as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. This fight, Uriah Hall versus Sean Strickland. I'm actually really looking forward to it. Really, really looking forward to it. Strickland's a mean man, dude. He's a mean dude. He likes to come forward. Good boxing. Interesting. Strickland has what looks like pro boxing level boxing. Super fun to watch. Yeah, he can box, man. He can really box. Like, I don't know how good he would be just in boxing because you got to understand something as well. Like, it's a good card. I mean, it's a pretty good card next week. I'm very, very excited to see. Actually, I want to see Kopylov fight, and I want to see this Sean Strickland fight with Uriah Hall. I'm really pumped for that. I don't know how good his boxing would be for boxing, but his boxing in MMA is good. Like he knows how to box. He knows how to apply that in MMA. He's beaten some decent people now. That you can start to go, okay, no, this guy can box. Christian Laurent says Rob versus Gallen would be a spectacle. It would be a spectacle. Marshall Smartest, laughs. And that's what I like about Martial Smartest. Darren Elkins just shadow boxing here in the background. He has most submission attempts for any featherweight at 22. Pete Dennison says, sorry, I'm late, Jefe. Good morning, todos. Good morning, sir. 1 foot out the door says, crazy how Sam Alvey's still fighting in the UFC. Yeah, I've met him in real life, dude, and he's like surprisingly good guy, like a surprisingly nice guy. Like mad, he's absolutely mad, but he's a nice guy. So yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to the fight next week, and I'm looking forward to the main event today. Like the main event today could go in any shape, way, or form, can go in any direction. That's why I'm really curious to see what TJ is going to look like. Christian Laurent says we saw Alvey get slept last time on the commentary. Yes, sir, he did. Marshall Smarter says that's 1 in 10,000 men that actually walk through the door. I don't know the figures exactly, but like your good fighters, like they are. They'd be probably less than that, man. Probably like a good fighter. We're talking like an Israel or a Rob or Gastelum, like guys like that. Yeah, the numbers would be less probably than 1 in 10,000. They'd be less than 1 in 10,000 for sure. Not necessarily that walk through that actual door, but definitely out of 10,000 people that are training, I'd say, yeah, you wouldn't get that many great fighters. But it usually works around that. Like if you have 100 people training, unless you've got like a fight gym, but then fight gyms don't have huge amounts of people. But if you've got 100 people training, you probably only got one proper fighter out of that. Michael Wood says, I think Sean hits his ceiling next week. He's fun to watch, but I don't think he's a top contender. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because again, some people look really, really good against not so good people, and some people just keep improving. Just keep being able to do that at the next level, the next level. I think Volkanovski's like that. I think now, like everyone's like, yeah, he's a champion, blah blah blah. But as he was going through, I think people were always like, yeah, Chad Mendes is going to get him. Chad Mendes didn't get him. Aldo's going to get him. Didn't get him. He was able to keep doing that game, all the way through. Then he got Max Holloway, and then so on and so forth. So I don't know with Sean. I think it's going to be a great test. I agree with you there. 1 foot out the door says, then you have a 1 in a billion type fighter like Lee Murray, KO'd the UFC champion in the streets. I think he caught him in a punch, man. I don't know that but man, Lee Murray was a fucking good fighter. Like he fought Anderson Silva, lost to Anderson, but he fought. That's the level of fighter he was. It wasn't like he was some guy that just fought on the street. Win Morgan Owen says Sam Alvey is the biggest shield for the UFC ever. That's how, in my opinion, the guy's constantly on Twitter dissing the idea of fair fighter pay and unionization. See, I don't know. I didn't know this. That's kind of weird. But there you go. That's why fighter pay will never go up. Christian Lorenz says Rob versus Izzy will take place outside of the Anzac region, possibly. I can't see them fighting here. You know what I mean? Like anytime soon. Win Morgan Owen says very, very good shout out. That actually forgot that laugh out loud. Oliver, how do you like at that? By the way, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Warrior MMA says I'll be kind of disappointed if Sandhagen wins. A championship Dillashaw versus Yan or Sterling would be a spectacle to see. Yeah, but if Sandhagen beats him, then there it is. Sorry, Exotic Sweat, man. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but if you keep going, I'm going to block you. 1 foot out the door says, in jail in South Africa, I think lead a crazy heist in the UK. Never found the money. He's in Morocco in jail. He's in jail in Morocco. Nicholas Bright said, someone's updated this card's Wikipedia page to say the previous fight was a robbery. Yeah. See, that's what I mean. People say that. That fight wasn't a robbery. I was watching that fight. It wasn't a robbery. It was just like, you know what I mean? And the refs had to make a call. Judges had to make a call on the fight, and they called the fight. I actually disagreed with the decision but it wasn't a robbery. Christian Lorenz says they can fight in NZ, but with no international fans, and Dana is not on board with that. Yeah, that's kind of weird as well. Oliver Ekman says, I think you have to type the whole name on the phone. I don't know what that means. I like Darren Elkins' fights, as in, like, he always comes to fight. He does always come to fight. He's walking out now. I'm a bit of a fan of his. I am a bit of a fan. He always comes to fight. He always puts in a good effort. And he does. He's active on the ground. He goes when the fight goes to the ground, he's looking for submissions. He's looking for finishes. I like watching Darren Elkins fight. One Foot at the Door says, will he avoid Minna's guillotine? I don't know. TJC says, any thoughts about Diaz versus Lawler 2? I can barely form an opinion considering I have absolutely no idea how Nick Diaz will look. I agree with you. The UFC is very good, man. The UFC is amazing at, promoting this, because the reality is everyone's behind it. Diaz is a big name. Lawler's a big name. But these two are two guys, but people criticize other promotions for these are two guys that their best days are way behind them. Like, they would have fought almost 20 years ago against each other. And you know what? The UFC is such a good promotion that they can drum up enough. Like, they will fucking sell that fight. People will be so into watching that fight, and I will be front and center watching the fight. But here's the reality. If that fight was happening in Bellator, everyone would be critical of it. Everyone would be like, nobody would watch it. But the UFC is so good at promoting, so good at getting behind it, that everyone's up for watching it. So Elkins is 37. He's 5'10", and Minna is 31, and he's 5'7". So Saint, yeah, I agree with you. Elkins does eat a lot of punishment. He does. So let's see what happens, people. Minus 160 favorite is Minna. Let's see what happens, people. He does take a lot of damage, and he has gotten a little older too, man. So who knows what will happen. It doesn't translate well, getting a little bit older in the lighter divisions. Mark Smith, the referee. So Sank says, "Are you watching the Olympics, Fab?" Not really, man. To be honest with you, it kind of, like, I don't really have time after I do these shows and that. It's just very hard to let's go to balance that with everything else in my life. 4:55 to go in the first round. Both men in the orthodox stance. Minna's already hunting, looking for the head, and looking for the knees up the middle and leg kicks. Minna's very active right off the bat, but he's already been cut. I think he's already got a little cut on his forehead. I think, or it might be his hair. I don't know. I can't tell. Another low kick by Minna, but Elkins answers with big right hand and left hand right off the bat. Nice jab by Minna, right hand by Minna. Front kick up the middle by Minna. Minna throwing big bombs, big power. Elkins drags him into the fence, goes looking for a takedown. Minna has this guillotine in. He's got an arm in on the guillotine, though. He does have an arm in on the guillotine. It's basically a front headlock at the moment. Elkins managed to arm drag out of that, then gets hit with a little right hand. Minna is reverse cross facing this takedown. He's defending it quite well. He's got it in deep. He does have it on. I think he's going to finish this guillotine thing. He got out of it, Elkins. Well done. Well done, Elkin. Now he's got to make him kind of settle here. He's looking for a crucifix. He's got the crucifix on Minna, but he's going to slip off the back of Minna, I think, because he hasn't got it right over the top of where he needs to be. And Minna ends up getting the takedown. He did get out of the crucifix. He has the back now. He's taken the back. He's probably looking to end up in mount here, and he has. Could he end up in a triangle here? That's what he's looking for, this triangle. As long as the elbow stays in, then the elbow has stayed in there. He's got this triangle on super deep. He's switched it to an armbar. Is Elkin going to be able to follow his thumb on the way out? This armbar is fucking deep. Elkins has managed to follow his thumb out. Great job by Elkins. Elkins once again looking for the crucifix. No, he wasn't. He hasn't got the crucifix. He's got a seatbelt on. He's looking to take the back from that position. He's not going to do it. Minna has turned his back around. He's got the double legs. He's pushed him up against the cage. And now he's got his legs tied up. Great job by Minna. 2 minutes and 39 seconds. Now, what's happened here is there's been a huge amount of scramble that's occurred for basically 2.5 minutes. Anyone that's grappled knows scrambling for that long is super hard. But Minna came out on top, and he was the one that was actually able to hold the position and kind of rest for a second. That's going to be very, very telling as this round continues. Good double overhook defense by Elkins as Minna goes for the double leg. Elkins has a deep underhook there. Minna continues to go forward. He's looking for a trip. He's going to get it. He's got the trip, but I was going to say, can Elkins use the underhook there? But he can't. Minna is looking for this guillotine. Elkins is doing a good job of following Minna's thumb to avoid the guillotine and to keep that hand out of the way. So he's keeping the hand out of the way. And see, when somebody puts a guillotine like this way, you can follow the way out is the way the fingers are pointing. It's one of the ways out. And he was doing a good job of doing that, turning his head to follow the hands and also grabbing the other hand so that Minna couldn't link his hands. But Minna's relentlessly going for that guillotine. He's starting to land some ground and pound. Great work by Minna. Really, really good work. He's looking for some ground and pound here. Elkins goes looking for a leg lock. Minna got it, but Minna turned his leg in the correct way early. So he was like right on top of that. He knows what's happening. Big ground and pound landing by Minna. Good ground and pound. High parterre now by Elkins. Minna goes looking to take his back, and he achieves that. He's winning these grappling exchanges by a fair bit now. You can tell that. Look, remember when I said to you, like, he got to a better position. He was able to rest for a sec, and he's doing that now as well. So he's got the position. Elkins has closed the guard. Elkins has got all the isometric contraction occurring from having the closed guard and holding Minna down into position. So this is allowing Minna, because he won the scramble, that's one, he wins a position. He's already tiring Elkins out. And now the isometric holds of Elkins is going to start to tire him out even more. So this is the second batch of scrambles that Minna has able to come out on top on and land some more ground and pound. And this starts to really diminish Elkins. So look for a Minna finish somewhere late in the second round, I believe. Because this will have taken a lot out of Elkins. A lot. And he's not really rest. Like, Minna is able to rest here in this position. Elkins is not. Like, Elkins has his guard there is a tight isometric contraction. And pulling down with his arms. So that starts to tire you out. And he's eating ground and pound. So he can't rest there. Great round by Minna. Win Morgan Owen says, this confirms to me how much better UFC commentary could be. Insight on the grappling is so much better here. Thank you, sir. I'm so flattered. I'm very, very flattered. And I will say this, the UFC guys there are very knowledgeable in grappling, so I don't know exactly why that's the case. Thank you, though. I'm very, very flattered. Elbow that shin. Win Morgan says, I mean, of course it is, but these fighters know this stuff, just don't articulate. Thank you very much, man. Marshall Smarter says, but how it feels so really in here with no one near. Only you can hear me when I say softly, slowly, hold me closer, tiny dancer. I love that song, actually. I do love that song. 1 foot out the door says, you almost have to mute the play-by-play for pay-per-view main events. So biased, it pisses me off. It says 1 foot out the door. We're out or off, people. Again. Ooh, nice little left hook by Elkins, and Minna gets the takedown. And that's what I was saying to you earlier. Like, That's what happens. Like when you win those scrambles, that's what happens with Khabib. Khabib gets a takedown, wins the scramble, holds you down. He rests, you don't rest. Over a period of time, that war of attrition, you don't win it, man. You just can't win that war of attrition when someone's beating you in the scrambles to the positions. You know, Elkins looking for that deep guillotine, but Minna rolls right out of it. Great job by Minna. And again, he gets a high parterre position. This is very important. He gets a high parterre position, even though he's looking to sink the hooks in. You notice how they don't just jump on the back to sink the hooks in, because you can fall off the person's back. You can just grab the high parterre as you do in wrestling and not be looking to jump on the back. Very, very, very good work here by Minna, and very good IQ for situational awareness for MMA. Passes the guard, avoids the up kick. Great work. This is extremely tiring for Elkins, and what Elkins is having to do is use a lot of strength to push off Minna. This guillotine's in deep. I think he's going to switch this to a Das. He's going to switch this to a Das, I believe. No, he's not. He's still on the front headlock here. Elkins did a good job to get out of that. He arm drag out of it. He's going for a guillotine himself. He's got this guillotine in deep himself. I don't know that he's got the arm strength left in him to be able to do much damage from this position. He's got like a semi-crucifix here. He actually has a crucifix. Now Elkins has won this scramble. This is very important. This is very, very important that he's won this scramble. He's looking to set up this head arm choke. This is where Elkins can get some breath back himself and do some damage here. But this is very important. Even if he doesn't, he's got him in the crucifix. But he's got the half guard, does Minna. Minna's got to bump his hips and move from there, Minna. Move. You got to bump your hips. You got the half guard. You just got to get the other hook in. He's got the wrong underhook, does Minna. He needs to get that left underhook in. Otherwise, he's there just taking damage. I don't know if he has gassed out from the previous scrambles or that he'd won those positions. He needs to get this left underhook in, does Minna. And he has to get onto his side, onto his right hip and onto his right shoulder and get that left underhook in. He has to bump his hips and work to do that. He can start with his left leg, starting to take the left leg as far left as he can of Elkins to take away some of that base. Now Elkins has passed completely. What a comeback from Elkins. I did not think that he would be able to do this. And it's interesting because I think a lot of these guys with wrestling backgrounds, they can get away with a lot of submissions, but then some of the positions in jiu-jitsu, they're not as versed with it as you'd think they would be. He's in a lot of trouble here. He's in a lot of trouble. He had the half guard. He has to turn. He has to turn now. He's given up this much. Elkins has done a fantastic job, a really good job. He's got 1:30 to go, and I think Elkins is going to get the finish here. I thought Minna had him, man. Elkins is really doing a good job. Minna is not defending himself at all. Elkins is doing a great job. Elkins is going to finish his fight. That's the finish, ladies and gentlemen, the second round. Elkins, what a fucking fantastic job. I am so impressed. I thought he was done in that round because Minna had done everything good in that first round. I don't understand how that gassing occurred for Minna because he won the positions, you know? And Elkins just did a great job, man. What a great job. Marshall Smarter said, that's exactly right. Hey, the guy's bottom game isn't that good. And that's one of the things I was just saying. Like, a lot of the times the guys with wrestling backgrounds will have really good submissions. They'll have some really good submissions. They'll be able to submit a lot of good black belts. But then if you put someone, like when you say someone's a good grappler, it's a good grappler, yeah. But when you put them in certain positions, you know, then they may not be in that position a good grappler. Even good jiu-jitsu guys, some good jiu-jitsu guys don't necessarily have a great guard, same as some wrestlers. Some guys can be really good wrestlers, but they don't necessarily have great double legs. They might have really good trips and really good tie-ups. So you have to stay away out of their tie-ups and push them into shooting double legs where they're not good. And whilst Minna's a very good grappler, he has a great guillotine, but he's not good off his back. You know, that position that he was in the half guard, he had the half guard. He could have started to scoot Elkins' leg out to the side to take away some of that base, bump his hips and look for that underhook. And he didn't do that. Like, there wasn't even an attempt to do that. So it's very interesting because he is a very good grappler. He's just not good in that position. So it's interesting. Marshall Smarter says guard is the hardest thing to master. Yeah, man. And then if you master a guard, this is the problem though. If you master a guard, then how much time you spent mastering the guard, there's other positions that you're also lacking. But in that situation there, it was really evident, really, really evident. One foot at the door says, in the pre-fight interview, they really were pushing the retirement question on Darren. He replied with, I'm taking it one fight at a time. Elkins is a savage, says Christian Laurent. And that he is, my friend. That he fucking is. Great job, man. Really, really impressed by him. I don't know how he does in the upper echelons of that weight division, but more importantly, though, he did well. He did really well there. Kyler Phillips versus Raulian Paiva is up next. I'm excited for the Hall vs. Strickland fight. I really am. What absolute heart, Christian Laurent. I will say that for sure. Yeah, 100%. And he had really good moments, did Minna. Really, really good moments. But you can't, I think, as a grappler, you can't have a grappling heavy game and then there's massive holes in your grappling. You know what I mean? And we saw with Minna there was a big hole there with his guard, and yeah, you can't. You have to have very, very competent guard because in those exchanges there are going to be times where you're going to end up on your back. One fight out the door says Minotauro or Minotauro in Pride 101 on guard passing. Ugo Peter says late stoppage, right? I mean, I don't know, man. Like, he has, because the guy had been winning as well, like, so it's hard to say, but yeah, it was done. Marshall Smarter says my man needed more metabolic condition. How's it going, Marshall Smarter? How's the training going there? I forgot. Lucky you reminded me. How is the training going, Marshall Smartest, with it? Christian Lorenz says Peter Yan vs. Aljamain Sterling set for UFC 267 on October 30th in Abu Dhabi. Yeah, man. Like, I think that's going to be a crazy fight. Like I said, Peter Yan's pretty much my favorite fighter. Marshall Smarter says, I'm tired. I'm slightly aggravated. It's hard. Yeah, man. And you can also, like, to balance it up with your grappling, you can also make it just 2 days a week. You know what I mean? And maybe do it like on a Monday and a Friday. And then that way you've got a lot of recovery and you can slip in some really hard jiu-jitsu sessions in between there. One foot at the door says, I'm streaming the fight out of principle. You do that, mate. What a good fight, man. That was a good fight. I really enjoyed watching the grappling exchanges and whatnot. That was really good. Hassan Ahmed says, I'm a big Aljo fan. Sad to see the hate he gets. I don't agree with the hate he got. Like, I thought he won that fight fair and fucking square. Nathan Fenner says, how do you think TJ will do tonight? I can't. You said that already, I think, Nathan Fenner. Like I said to you, I don't know what he's going to look like. I don't know if he's going to look like, I don't know, because he's just been out for that long. I don't know what he'll look like. Alexandra Banworth says, what's the best low impact cardio training in your opinion? Is rowing a good option? There's a lot of different ones. Like, I think rowing is the best one, and that's what I've been doing most of, just because you can do it. Doesn't matter the weather, doesn't matter where you're at. You can do real quick ones where you can basically get up in your pajamas and do like a try and row 2,000 meters in anything close to 7 minutes, anything under 8 minutes, and that's going to be a fucking hard workout, that's going to be a really, really hard workout. You can do sets of 1,000 in under 4 minutes, like you could do with 3 minutes break, depending on how much time you have. So that's good like that. I think rowing's great. But then there's also like low impact cardio training I think walking is fantastic if you want to count that as low impact cardio. It's something you can do with people of different levels. So you can go walking with your wife. You can go walking for hours if you like, And if you enjoy that, that's going to be great. Surfing is one of the craziest forms of low impact cardio that you can do if you're a beginner, especially because the paddling is fucking incredibly hard. It is so difficult. So I think surfing is one of the best ones, and you're out there in the elements. It's completely different. It's different every day. And you're learning a skill. You're learning the skill of surfing. So I think surfing's an amazing type of low impact cardio. If I had to pick, though, I'd say rowing, just because you can have the rower at home and you can just do your rowing sessions and the thing. Assault bike's cool too, but I feel the rower has it's just that you're also incorporating a lot of resistance type training as well. So you can get away with just doing the rower and some crunches and some push ups, and you've got yourself a really good session there. Yeah, someone referenced that was Marshall Smartest that referenced the Tiny Dancer lyrics. I like that song. Hud John says, "G'day from WA, Fab. I'm back. Got 100 on Sandhagen for the win." That's a good bet, man. I can't say to you that he will win, but it's a good bet. 1 foot out the door says, "Look at how Khabib reacted to an illegal knee from McGregor." That doesn't take away the fact that they were very different knees, though. They were very fucking different knees, and it doesn't take away from the fact that both of them were illegal. I think that says more so about the refs not picking up on McGregor's knee or McGregor's holding of the gloves than anything else. Marshall Smarter says someone who does this full circuit with 100 plus pounds could be close to the CrossFit Games. Yeah, probably, but it's not necessarily what you're trying to do. You're not trying to necessarily do that whole thing. You just want to get that workout in, if you know what I mean. You don't necessarily have to go to the point where you're at the CrossFit Games, because your priority is to grapple. You know what I mean? Cannonier versus Gaslam sounds like a good one. Yes, sir. Hassan Ahmed says, yeah, there was a massive, that's exactly what I said. There was a massive knee difference between both knees. And in fairness, that Connor's knee was so blatant, it should have had a point deduction anyways. Stephen Morgan says, "Hey, mate, a question a bit out of topic, but what's the hottest thing you've ever eaten?" I'll tell you right now. Hold on 1 second. Baby, what's that, the Szechuan fish thing? What's that called? There's a Szechuan fish soup that's really, really hot. Okay, thank you. I just had to ask my wife what it was. It's a dish. I can't say the name properly. My wife always laughs at me. Szechuan fish dish. Like it's like a soup kind of thing. The fish comes in, and they got these chilies, right, that make your mouth numb. They make your mouth numb, but they give it this delicious taste. These peppers, chili things, and then when you eat the fish and the spices and the chili in there, your mouth and everything, like it's kind of numb, but you can taste the fish and everything. But you're eating the chilies and that, and you can't taste them. So you're eating these chilies, and you're getting hot from the inside, man. Like you start to sweat like crazy, but it numbs your mouth at the same time. It's really, really delicious, man. It doesn't sound nice. It doesn't sound pleasant, but it's really, really an interesting dish. So that would be the hottest thing I've had. And then harsh hot, like hot where it just catches me out. There's been a few curries and that I've had that they just smack me in the mouth, but that's different. That's not. That's more brutal. Yeah. So hopefully that answers the question, Stephen Morgan. 1 foot out the door says, by Aljo accepting the belt, he showed his true colors. I think that Aljo should have accepted the belt. It was a blatant, and I was going for Peter Yan. Peter Yan's probably my favorite fighter, but it was a blatant illegal knee. So, good for him. good for him. It makes a massive difference to him and his family financially, and good for him for you know, he got hit flush. You know what I mean? It was a blatant illegal knee. Um, Oliver Ekman says, "I love you like a brother, but I think Aljo gets worked again by Peter. I think Peter wins the fight. I think he was winning the fight. I think he was winning the fight against Aljamain. I think he beats him in the rematch." Um, Chuck Les says TJ is now 35, Sandhagen is 29. I'm wondering if age will factor. It could. And it's one of those things, especially a guy with fights off reflexes like Dillashaw and most little guys, anyways. Um, just one day, they just don't have it. They're just a little bit slow. I don't know if today will be the day. Um, okay. Alexandra Banworth says, I run heaps, but my knee's been playing up, so I had to cut down on training, picking up a concept 2 rower today. Yeah, the concept 2 rower, dude, will you can do all sorts of different workouts that are really hard. But if you want to just kick off with that, just try and row 2,000 meters in as close as 7 minutes as you possibly can. So under 8 minutes, try and get to as close as 7, and that's going to be hard. One foot out the door says, Aljo was out wrestled and on the verge of getting stopped. He was slowly drowning. I 100% agree with you. I 1 billion% agree with you that Peter Yan was winning the fight 100%. But he still did a blatant illegal knee. Uh, so that's what it is. Nathan Fenner says, I got Sandhagen by knockout, and then Yan can have an actual challenge. As TJ said, Aljo didn't have any threats for Yan. I think early on in the piece, Aljamain is very, very dangerous. He's got very unpredictable striking. His submissions are dangerous, especially early on. He's a high level grappler. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know Sasank. I don't know what the name, if it was Sichuan Mala, Hot Pot, or whatnot. Um, Oliver Ekman says, this is the shittest mac and cheese I've ever had. One foot at the door says, the point I wanted to illustrate comparing the two fouls was that Khabib kept fighting, but the knees were completely different. It wasn't like if McGregor had kneed Khabib like that, it would be completely different. Like it was a completely different knee. Wasn't even close to the same knee. Like wasn't even close. David Morris says Aljo got nailed while he was losing. There's no way he could have continued that fight, and you can't reward Yan for the foul. He went how it needed to go, even if it stinks all around. I agree, David Morris. I agree. And there was nowhere near the same thing. Marshall Smarter says, check out California Reaper hot sauce. That will burn your butt house. I wouldn't want to have that, man. Nicholas Bright says, Szechuan peppers. Yes, sir. Szechuan peppers, fish soup. Win Morgan says, obviously it's a very, very hard job, but refs are not held to account in any capacity, like not just late stoppages, but they never pick up on fingers in gloves. I don't know that they're not held accountable. You know what I mean? I don't know that they're not held accountable. It's a very, very tough job. I wouldn't want to do it. It's you get fucking Buckley's money, and I wouldn't do it. Nathan Fenner says Jan fouled him, but it's a dumb rule and was beating his ass. It is a dumb rule, but it is the rule. He was beating his ass, but it is the rule. You know what I mean? Like, so you can't knee someone in the fucking face in that position, and he did. And it was a fucking knee. I'm pretty sure it is something like that's the same Sichuan style mala hot pot. It doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter 1 foot at the door whether it was or it wasn't, or if he kept acting or if he wasn't. If Peter Yan needs you like that flush in the head, I don't think you'd go to work the next day. But that's just my opinion. Like, but whether he was acting or not, it doesn't matter, dude. Like, you can't knee someone from that position. You just can't. That's just the rule. Okay, so mala literally means numb spicy. Oh, I definitely agree 1 foot at the door that there has to be a rematch. I'm all for. I am on the Peter Yan fucking bandwagon. I definitely think there has to be a rematch, and I'm going for Peter Yan. Hassan Ahmed says, I feel like your assault bike is great for cardio. It's my favorite machine. Assault bikes are really good for cardio. Try the rower, Hassan Ahmed, as well. Try the rower. You'll get a try the rower. Like I said, try and do 2,000 meters in close to 7 minutes, anywhere around there. Under 8 minutes, close to 7. Try and do it. You'll find it's pretty cool. David Morris thinks a lot of people are underestimating Aljo. If you listen to his podcast, you realize he's a very sharp guy and is capable of making adjustments. I agree with you. I just think that he's quite outclassed by Peter Yan on the feet, but he's very dynamic with his striking. Oliver Ekman says, I personally think the Aljo Yan fight should have been a no contest based on Yan winning. Yeah, but it was. This is what people don't get. It wasn't an accident. It was a very. It's like it was a complete. It was a fucking. How can I say? A deliberate foul that stopped the fight. You get what I mean? So that's why it's a disqualification. It's not whether we agree on the rule or not. The rule is very, very clear. You can't do that. And the way that it happened wasn't an accidental knee. It wasn't like Aljo was shooting and he kind of ran into the knee. It wasn't like that. Wasn't what happened. And so that's the rules. It's not what I think. It's not what I think. And I agree with everyone what they're saying that Yan was winning. He was fucking, in my opinion, he was flogging him after the first, second round. He was just boom, 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 getting to him. But that's the rule. You know what I mean? That is the rule. And fair play to Aljamain. I don't think he should have continued. No way. You know, the difference between you going out and losing that fight and you taking the belt and now fighting again with Peter Yan for the belt financially, man, the difference is huge, huge difference. Now we're off, people. We got Phillips both guys in the orthodox stance, actually. So Phillips in the green. Oh, nice exchange there. Paiva seems to have caught him with a little right hand. Nice and tidy. Oh, guys, looking for a spinning back kick, a spinning hook kick, rather, from Phillips. Nice! He drops Paiva. Paiva has recovered there, but he dropped him. He dropped him good. Oh, you guys looking for a spinning back fist. Does Phillips. Phillips has got really unorthodox type of striking, man. He dropped Paiva good. Phillips looking pretty good here, man. Paiva looking to return with the right hand of his own. Nice combination there by Paiva. I think there was a big head clash there. It was a pretty big head clash. And Phillips keeps dropping his head in the clinches. Like he keeps dropping his head, kind of charging in with his head. So it lends to the head clashes. Paiva gets a takedown. Nice. His body lock. And Phillips is looking for a Kimura to defend this and also possibly set up a Kimura trap. Nice work by Paiva. Nice work. Hits the switch, does Phillips. He's got the single leg, but Paiva turns once again. He's looking for the back. He's looking for the broomstick sweep. But Phillips has cut the angle, so he hasn't got the thing. Phillips is very interesting. He just throws all his weight into his strikes, but he's an interesting cat. Like he's got good takedown defense. He's a bit wild with his stand-up, but that makes it difficult as well. And he looks like a big boy as well for this division, the bantamweights. He's not as composed with his hands as I'd like to see, but he's at the same time he's quite wild. He covers a lot of distance when he blitzes in, but he's open for some counters here. He's got to be careful. Luca's looking for an elbow reverse crossface again. He's got his takedown defense. I'm impressed with his takedown defense. Landing some big shots on Paiva now as he's defending while he's sprawling. He's cut the angle on this sprawl, so it's going to be hard for Paiva to finish that, which he wasn't able to finish it. Nice high kick by Phillips. Goes looking for another spinning wheel kick. But now he's fallen and Paiva is in his guard. Let's see if Paiva's able to do something with this guard. Oh, Phillips has got a nice active guard too. His guard's closed at the moment. Let's see what Paiva can do here. Paiva looked for the takedown. Now he's in Phillips's full guard. And the thing here that starts to happen is if Phillips feels that he's comfortable in wherever it lands, that starts for someone the way that he fights, it'll start to open up his stand-up even more. Let's see if Paiva can start to pass this guard or to land some big, heavy ground and pound, and he has not. And now Phillips has taken a single leg, stepped over Paiva. Paiva with this seatbelt grip that he had a second ago was still somewhat secure, but now Phillips has passed the guard. He's inside control. He's got a minute to work. He's looking good. Well done for Paiva to regain the guard as Phillips went to step over into mount, which I don't like. I would have preferred he slid from from a knee on belly to full mount, but it's okay. He looks quite comfortable in these guards and in these exchanges in a half guard. He's landing big elbows here on Paiva. Paiva's taken those elbows, but 45 seconds to go. Expect to see more wheel kicks and more crazy shit from Phillips just because he knows he's very comfortable on the ground against Paiva. He's starting to land some big ground and pound. He took a big shot, did Paiva just then. I can't believe my screen froze right now. He's landing some big shots, is Phillips on Paiva. Paiva's got a chin on him too, though, man. He's able to take some shots. 24 seconds to go. Right hand lands by Phillips. Looks for another wheel kick. Lands a right hand on the chin of Paiva with 17 seconds to go. Paiva's in all sorts of trouble. He's in trouble. He got landed on the chin. He's got 10 seconds to survive this round. Is he going to survive it? He's landing big shots. Here's Phillips. He's landing elbows flush on the head of Paiva. Is Paiva going to survive? Paiva's in all sorts of trouble. There's 1 second to go. Paiva survives. Well done for Paiva. My God. I do agree, TJC, that Dillashaw has amazing. He's a really highly skilled fighter. Frankie says, Aljain, stupid. He took the belt and ran with it. The amount of promotion and advertisement deals he's getting is wild. 100%. The difference between him taking the belt and not taking the belt is fucking huge. Good for him, man. Smart of him to do that. One out the door says, I'm out of sick days, worked through concussions before it sucks. Checkles says, I licked the ghost chili and it was the stupidly hottest thing I've ever had. The next day came out in my sweat and it burnt. Never again. No, it's too hot for me, boys. That's too hot for me. Man, he almost got finished here, Paiva. Very, very close to getting finished. Very close. Big ground and pound landing here, right on his chin. I don't know how he takes those shots, to be honest with you. We're about to start the second round. So interesting, man. Really, really interesting. I think you're going to see more spinning hook kicks from, or spinning wheel kicks, whatever you want to call them, from Phillips right off the bat, I believe, while he's still fresh and strong. And that I think you're going to see him because I don't think he respects a lot of Paiva's game anymore. I know he thinks, I believe he thinks he's very comfortable wherever the fight goes. Nice right hand to the body by Phillips. He is setting up the spin. He's setting up the spin. He just has to get Paiva in the right position. Paiva with a body lock. Nice work, Paiva. Nice work. He shot in on the double. Nice work. He's looking for that heel hook. But Phillips is out of it. Good work for Paiva. Good for you, Paiva. He has to do something. He has to show Phillips a different look. He can't like just get caught up in just watching, you know what I mean? He has to be going for different things. And so that was a good work by him in that scenario. Nice low kick by Phillips. There's not a lot on Phillips's strikes a lot of the times, but they're coming from different angles. Look for the spin. As soon as he can, he's looking for that spin so bad. He's light on his feet. He's looking for that spin. Nice elbow out of the clinch by Phillips. Paiva's got to be careful. He got dropped twice in that round. Hassan Ahmed says, I've used the... Oh, nice. Did we see a drop? Oh, Paiva's coming now forward with some shots, landing them on Philip. Nice, Paiva. Nice. Good for you, Paiva. Oh, nice little uppercut. Paiva catches Phillips. Nice. Paiva's coming forward. He must have felt something. Maybe Phillips is starting to wither a little bit. Right hand by Paiva. Paiva with a body lock again. I don't know why my stream keeps freezing. Yeah, Phillips has slowed down, man. Phillips has slowed down a fair bit. But then he hits a blast double on Paiva. They're both tired. Both these guys are tired. It's 2 minutes and 33 seconds to go. Paiva can't stop. He can't give up this takedown. He has to keep him. He has to make Phillips work. Whoever wins this scramble, I believe, will win the fight. He can't stop. He has to keep pulling his legs back, pushing the head down. Keep pulling your legs back, Paiva. Take your legs back. Keep going, Paiva. Good. He has to get up. Phillips has still got a good position here in the high parterre. He's taking them back in standing in high parterre. It's still very, very good position. Nice work. He didn't give up the takedown. If he had given up that takedown, it would have been more or less the wrap. That made Phillips really, really, really work. That made Phillips work because he went for the blast double and he wasn't able to capitalize on it. That would have taken a lot of energy out of him. Paiva's still coming forward. This fight, if it doesn't get ended soon, it's going to be an ugly third round with both guys just massive show of heart. Now Paiva hits the double and he goes to the body lock. He's taking the back. Phillips is still standing. Paiva's landing some shots now on Phillips. He landed some good shots there. Nice. He landed a jab. See, in this position here, just touch him with your jab. Don't swing. Just touch with your jab. There's 1 minute and 13 seconds to go. So ignore my clock there. There's 1 minute and 13 seconds to go. And there's quite an exchange occurring here. Phillips has landed on top. He's looking for the back. There's 47 seconds to go. I have a malfunction here with my lights. Phillips has taken the back. He hasn't been able to sink the hooks in on Paiva. Paiva's turning. Is Paiva going to be able to get up? He has. There's 26 seconds to go. He's just got to touch him. Just touch him with your jab. Don't try and wind up. Just touch. Touch with your jab, Paiva. See, that load up with the right hand, you can see it coming, and they just don't have the shot on him anymore. You just got to touch him with the jab. Big blast double attempt by Phillips. 3 to go. 2-1 time. What a crazy third round it's going to be. Paiva looks very tired. Just a second, guys. Paiva is in all sorts of problems. The problem is when he wins the scrambles, he tries to load up on the right hand. You just got to touch him. Touch him with your jab. Just touch. Hassan Ahmed says, I've used the roller plenty. It doesn't get me as bad as the assault bike does. Fair enough. They're both real hard, man. They're both cool. Alexandra says, you can't make a no contest from intentional fouls. Imagine if Mina felt like he was gassing and just kneed Elkin in the face and got a no contest instead of a loss. Yeah, you can't. 100%. You're 1,000% right. We're kicking off. We're at third round. Paiva has to touch him. Just touch him with a jab. Just touch him with a jab. Just touch. See that right hand lead? It's not landing, it's not landing, and it takes a lot of effort. When you're gassed, it takes a lot out of you to land that shot. So just touching with a jab. And people that have never done this, it's so fucking hard. Once you're gassed, it's so hard to even lift your hands. People do not understand this. So least amount of effort, Paiva. Just land the jab. Phillips is landing it. Just land the jab. Just the jab, Paiva. Just the jab. Flick it out. There we go. There we go. Now land the jab. Now you got to land the jab. Right in that moment when Phillips wants to get his breath back, you don't let him. You got to land the little jabs. Keep landing them. Yeah, that's it. Little ones. Just little ones. Boom. There we go. Good. Don't throw the right hand. Just the jab. Just the jab. That's what Paiva's got to be doing here. Just landing the jabs. Because Phillips is also tired. And the more he shoots, if Paiva can get up, now he's got to land the jab. Land the jab. He's got to land the jab now, Paiva does. Because Phillips is also looking like he's looking to get the takedowns, but it's costing him a lot of energy. They're both super tired. He's just got to flick the jab out, Paiva, and land it. Just touch him. Three minutes and 11 seconds to go. Mate, it's a long time to fight. He's just got to touch him with a jab. Just touch him with a jab. It really starts to wear you out. There we go. Whichever one of these guys starts to land the jab, it's going to benefit them so much. Oh, nice. Nice. Paiva's landing some shots, but he starts to wind. As soon as he lands a couple of shots, he winds them up. There's a nice little jab. Now take up that stance. They're both gone. They're both so gassed. He's got to get up. You've got to get up, Paiva. He's got to get up. Got to get to the cage, push his head away, turn your feet, and get up. This will be so taxing for Phillips. I cannot explain to you how taxing that will be for Phillips. Paiva's got to get there and jab him. He's got to get there and jab him. But he's so tired. They're both so tired. Now it's synced, Isikeli. Now it's synced. I'm sorry about that, man. I hadn't synced it before, but now it's synced. So that's what's left in the round. 1 minute, 50 seconds. 1 minute, 45 seconds. So Paiva is now on top of Phillips. He is now on top of him. There's 1 minute and 42 seconds to go. Phillips is also gassed here, man. Phillips is gassed. They're both gassed. Paiva has to just land the shots. He just has to land some shots. Not big ones, just little elbows. He's got Phillips in a very, very vulnerable position here because Phillips can't move his hips too much. The way that his head is crushed up against the cage. But I think that Phillips won the first 2 rounds, and so Paiva here, he has to get a finish. He's got a minute to get a finish. He just has to keep landing the shots, and landing the shots. He's not going to win it from a situational perspective here. Okay, so sorry guys, I'm going to skip a whole bunch. Yeah, this is he 33 seconds to go. Martial Art Smarter says adrenaline in a fight, that pace, minutes, more fatigue than any other sport I've ever felt in my life. I've played a lot of sports. Yeah, combat is a different thing, man. If you're not, you have to be so fit for combat, you know. And it's not that these guys probably aren't fit. They probably are fit. It's just the adrenaline is insane, dude, in a fight. The adrenaline is so crazy. 4 seconds to go. 3, 2, one time. Wow. Wow. Yeah, Phillips won that fight, but wow. No, martial smartest. You're right. You don't get to breathe when you want. The person, also the thing that happens that's different to other sports is you're actually suffering trauma. Like people are hitting you, so it's not like, say for example, basketball. You might get real tired, but it's not like when you're going to shoot a free throw, somebody comes up and punches you in the stomach. That's not what happens, you know. Um, so that's what's very different about it as well. Um, yeah, it's very very different. Hud John says, "What J Rule thinks popping up on the screen." Um, Higgs says, "Love the insight, Fab. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I appreciate it." Phillips versus O'Malley next. I think that's a fight they'll make, but I think um, they'll probably make a fight like that. But I think O'Malley is a little bit much for him. You know, O'Malley's a good fighter. One foot out the door says, "Feel like you're in quicksand or drowning, being one move behind your opponent. It's the worst. The worst. The worst. The worst." That was really tough fight, man. Real tough fight. Guys, if you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Oliver, he looks a little bit, Kyler Phillips. He looks a little bit like Russell Brand, a little bit. Um, See, this is a little bit misleading because in the round two, whilst Paiva may have gotten more shots in, he didn't have the bigger shots in that round. See how they call it. I had that fight the other way. Me personally, I had that fight the other way. But he won the third round. I think he did win the third round. He definitely lost the first. He definitely lost the first round. And so then the second round, it could have gone either way. I saw it different, but I don't think it was a robbery. Um, yeah, I had it the other way, but that was me. But again, they're close fights, you know, they're close fights. Um, and in fairness as well, I will say this: the judges are in there. They're the one. They're closer to the fight, and so you can see and hear stuff that happens that we can't. You know, that's something you got to be able to give to the judges. You know what I mean? You you have to understand that they can see body language and the way that people get hit and how people are reacting, how their corners are reacting. You can hear all of that a little bit different than what we can hear. Um, Win Morgan says, came here for the tactical analysis, staying for comparing Phillips to Russell Brand. um, C says, what even is this sport? Round one, textbook 10-8. I feel like I need to throw up with these judges ruining the sport. Yeah, I don't feel it was that bad of a call. I don't think it was that bad of a call at all. Um, I had Phillips winning. I thought Phillips won that fight, but it was a close fight, man. It was a close fight. Um, and Chill says, yeah, they must have scored the first round 10-9. I agree. Um, I do think that they must have scored a 10-9. Arguably could have been a 10-8, but it was. I don't think it was a 10-8, to be honest with you. It was like even the knockdown wasn't like boom, knocked him into next week either. Maybe it was. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It was a close fight. It was a close fight. It could have gone either way. Like I said, I thought Phillips won. but it's not the worst decision I've seen by any stretch of the imagination. This is going to be a cracker. Derrick Lewis versus Gunn. C says, I mean, honestly, when you see scorecards like we've seen tonight, do you not get sick to your stomach? How was round one, not 10-8? He dropped him several times and then almost finished him. It could have been a 10-8 round. I do agree with you, but I don't feel like this, like, say the women's card as well. I don't feel it was like a crazy ass. I just don't. I don't think. I disagreed with both decisions. Just so you know, I disagreed with both decisions, but I don't feel that the judging was awful. You know, it wasn't like a crazy thing. I disagreed with both decisions, but they were close enough that I can go, all right. Chris K says, thank you very much for your support, Chris K. I really appreciate it, my friend. Kyler Phillips looks like Jared Leto in Blade Runner 2049. I haven't seen it. Faber translating for Paula is a nice touch. Please buy premium Nongshing noodles for the family. I will do, sir. I will do. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. CT Nguyen says, when the hell did Faber speak Portuguese? So it seemed Uriah Faber's time off, he has been learning how to speak Portuguese and Spanish. That's new to me. Man, learning to speak Spanish in the US is not hard, and Portuguese is similar to Spanish. Number CSC, I think you're taking the whole thing too personally. Even though I agreed with you. I actually agreed with you. Chris, I agreed with you that I think it was a 10-8. It could have been, but obviously it wasn't. Chris K says, at Oliver, agree. Phillips pooped the bed by throwing and missing all that flashy stuff. He had the fight in the bag. Agreed. I do agree. Joshua Wilcox says, is Sandman next? Yes, it is, sir. Yeah, I thought that Phillips won that fight, but he didn't. That's what do you do? If Marshall Smarter says, look, Fab, I'm trying to argue with you. You're taking the piss. I apologize, Marshall Smartest. I apologize. I really apologize. So yeah, last fight on the card. Let's see what happens with this card. I haven't hated this card. I thought it wouldn't be as good, but it's been pretty good. Was that okay Aussie slang? I don't know. I don't know. WW says Oliveira can probably beat anyone in his division. Yes, he can probably beat anyone in the division. There's a whole bunch of guys, though, that can probably beat anyone. It's going to be interesting, this one. Hud John says, lads, that fight was close, though. That's why they say never leave it to the judges. That's what I mean. It is definitely, that's one of the things people don't understand. Like, when it's a close fight, it's a close fucking fight. You can't be too upset. C obviously was very, very upset with that, and I do agree that I thought it was a 10-8 round with a dropping, but obviously the judges didn't see it that way, and maybe they saw the they saw it different to me. I thought, and I said it as we were watching the fights, that I thought he was going to get finished, man. It looked like a 10-8 round, but they didn't give it, so. But then even then it would have only been a draw if they gave the second and the third to Paiva. You see what I mean? So yeah. Marshall Smarter says science and fighting use so many caveats. Probably. It's true, eh? Chuck Les says Kiesa versus Luke should be an awesome fight. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Chris K says Nongshin black beef broth noodles with thin sliced Angus is the bomb. I'll be sure to try something like that in the very near future. One foot at the door says, hit the thumbs up. It doesn't cost anything to do so. Please do so, guys. Please hit the thumbs up and also like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, guys. I would really appreciate that very, very much. This is interesting. Marshall Smarter says, actually sounds great. No, it does. It really, really does. Chill says there should be more draws in the UFC. There are draws, you know what I mean? Like it's hard. Like I said to you, both those fights that went to the decision, the girls and this one's, I had the other person winning, but I can't say this like it doesn't. I can't go. Oh my god, that's what were the judges watching? I don't see that like that. I didn't see that. Could have been a draw. I could have been a draw. Um, but yeah, it is what it is. One foot out the door says, "My cell is dead. Enjoy the fight. Enjoy the fight. Enjoy yourself, man. Take care." Um, Oliver Ekman says, "Everyone go get your mum's cards and donate to this man." Hey, well thought, Oliver. Well thought. Well done. I'm really looking forward to this fight. I got a feeling that this fight ends quickly, though. Win Morgan Owen says, "Draws are just so unsatisfying. Most painful thing to me is win purses. You want you want incentives to win, but the fact Phillips gets paid almost 50% for that is shitty." I agree. Like, I don't think you need incentives to win. There's no bigger incentive than another dude trying to knock your fucking head off. So there's no real incentive. Like, you're not going to fight any harder because once you're in there, you're just in there fighting. Um, so yeah, that's just a way of paying someone half. You know what I mean? That's a reality. That's just a way of paying someone half. Um, Sank says, "We'll make Fab president of the USA." There's so many things that are wrong with that. WW says, "Who do you think is the most dangerous fighter in the UFC today?" Dangerous, I think, is Ngannou because he can literally kill you. He hits so hard. You know what I mean? That's yeah. Um, Marshall Smarter says, "Say you're sponsoring your child's meals for the week." I think you are though. My daughter eats when people donate. Marshall's Cory first. How many more fights have there? Says Pip Dennison. One more. This is the main event coming. Chill says Cory's first round KO, calling it. Could be. Could well be. I don't think this fight goes a distance. Oliver Ekman, main event right now at Pip Dennison. Hey, Tasman Andrews, you champion. My coffee shop is closed on Sundays, so my money goes to you today. Mate, you are a champion. Thank you so much. Little eat there will eat thanks to you. Thank you very much, my friend. Much love. Win Morgan says, "Feel like Greg Hart is possibly the most dangerous with that lack of moral compass." Maybe. Arjun says, "Robberies are pretty scarce in MMA. Fans typically designate a fight as a robbery when their guy loses a close fight. Example, Volk versus Holloway too. 1000%. Like, um, I don't see robberies per se like that. I haven't. They're not. They're close. They're close fights that you could go one way or another. Like that fight that we just saw, you could have given it to Phillips, maybe, arguably. You could have been a draw, um, or it could have been Paiva. I didn't have Paiva winning. To be fair, like I said. Um, Thanks for answering the questions, mate. WW. Oh man, I love doing it. I love you guys being on here. Um, uh, Says, does Ngannou beat John Jones? It it could. He could. Like the thing I see with Jones is he takes a little bit of damage, and I don't see that. He takes a lot of shots. He kind of rolls with it, and I don't see him being able to slide out of. He doesn't slide out of the way that well at light heavyweight, and I don't think he's going to be quicker at heavyweight. And he won't have the same mechanical advantages that he does at light heavyweight. So I see that he will. I see him getting clipped at some point by Ngannou. If you want me to be honest. Oh, hey, WW, you champion with a super sticker out of nowhere. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate it, man. I really appreciate all the support. TJ's walking out right now. Um, D. Munson says, "Just subbed. Love the commentary. Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate it." Chris K says, "Just look at Charlo versus Castaño for a good example of draws used to rob the B-side fighters. Marshall Smarter says, we'll pay for more burns. Let's see. Hud John says, yeah, bro, when Ganu dropped over him, thought he might have killed him for a sec. Yeah, he hits so hard. Adam D says, Volk beat Max twice. Look, to be fair with all of that, and I'm going for Alex, they were close fights. Like, if they had given the fight, like, this is how fucked up it was. I think, was it the first fight? I don't know if it was the first fight or the second fight. One of the fights, people said, there was comments like this, and you can go back and watch it. And I was like, fuck, I don't know who won. Maybe Max, maybe Alex. It was a close fight. I don't know. Da-da-da-da-da. And I broke down it was the first fight. I remember talking about it. And everybody fucking hated on me. Everybody hated on me going, you don't like Max. You don't like Alex Volkanovski. You don't like da-da-da-da-da. And I was just like, dude, it was fucking close. I can't say to you, yeah, Alex smashed him. He didn't. He didn't smash him. He didn't. It was a fucking close fight, went down to the wire, and the refs gave Alex a decision both times, So, yeah. Chuck Les says, how some fighters can control adrenaline is impressive to me. When I get punched in the face, I go straight into Hulk smash mode. The experience, though, is massive, Chill says, this fight doesn't make much sense to me, like the Cruz versus Cejudo fight. I think Cory will make it look easy. Could do. TJC says, a robbery that comes to mind is GSP Hendricks, even though I'm a GSP fan and Hendricks was on the juice. Again, I don't think it was a robbery. I don't think it was a robbery, I'd have to go back and look at it. It's been a while. When I watched it, again, I had that feeling that Hendricks won. I did. I was like, I think Hendricks won that fight. But it was close again, And yeah, I didn't feel there was a robbery, to be honest with you. I thought it was a close fight. Marshall Smarter says, experience with Hulk smash not working is key to training that. Things like Shark Tanks. Yeah, 100%. Shark Tank's a good thing. And I think when you train, is trying to make one of the big things I do with my guys when they spar and everything, you try and make it as close to a fight as possible. So rather than just having 5 pairs of people sparring, like you try and do, okay, just have a pair of people sparring and everyone else watching, right? And maybe bringing in some people to watch as well. That creates close to the adrenaline. Not the same, but it creates a different type of adrenaline. If you have 30 people watching you and someone else spar, it's different than there's 10 people sparring and you guys are just switching around. So you try and make it as the same as possible that you can to a fight. Oh, hey, out of nowhere. Nicholas Bright, Nong Shim for little tonight. Thanks for the great commentary, sir. Guys, thank you so much for your support. You guys are fucking amazing, man. And it helps to keep the podcast going. I really, really appreciate it, man. I can't say it enough. Please hit the like and subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Cory Sandhagen is just making his way into the octagon now. Kane says, thank you so much, man. Man, I appreciate everything you do. Sorry I couldn't give more. Just wanted to say the fair one is the man with the master plan. Also, do you think CM Punk beats Khabib? I don't think CM Punk can beat Khabib in a running race, let alone a fight. But hey, man, I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. New Way says, when was the last time John Jones KO'd anyone? Yeah, I don't think his punching power is going to translate very well to heavyweight when it didn't translate very well at light heavyweight. CT Newen says, I've always liked TJ Dillashaw, one of my faves. He sure came through this EPO business easier than John Jones did. Yeah, well, John Jones did a whole bunch of other shit too, though. Cory has been on a tear. He's been active. He's definitely, in my opinion, the favorite, but TJ is the enigma going into this. When does the fight start? In a couple of minutes, man. Arjun says, am I wrong to consider TJ a cheater just because he tested positive for EPO? I think most guys in MMA are on some sort of gear, but I personally don't have an issue if it helps them recover. Well, the problem is, man, if it helps you recover, it's fucking huge. We're just talking with Marshall Smartest now about his training and like with his weights and whatnot. It's hard, man. If you can do more sessions because you can recover, that's where the cheating is. You know what I mean? That's why when people say, oh, it doesn't help your technique, it does help your technique because you're able to do more sessions than the other people. But a lot of people are on performance enhancing drugs. The main fight is in a minute. Yes, sir, Josh Games. Hud John says, so does Dillashaw hasn't seen any kind of competition over his break? I don't. He can't have official competition. Alexandre Banworth says, man, this is a great fight. Wonder how TJ is going to look. I think Cory's going to be an issue. Yeah, 100%. His range is going to be an issue. Okay. Chuck Les says, learning not to Hulk smash has been tricky. Mindfulness, meditation, staying in stressful situations, learning to regulate emotions has helped, but Hulk smash is always there. Like I said, try and make your training as close to real competition as possible, and compete as much as you can. That's another thing I try and get guys that I do coach to compete a lot. Like if they fight in MMA, go and compete in jiu-jitsu a lot, and you deal with the nerves and you deal with the adrenaline. Competing wrestling, competing jiu-jitsu, there's no trauma on your brain, and you're still getting that feeling of dealing with a situation. TJC, you're a champion, my friend. Thank you so much. Thanks for the commentary, Fab. I'm here for it every fight night, man. I appreciate it so much, guys. Thank you for keeping the podcast going. I really appreciate it, man. I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Arjun Garman says, the point I was trying to convey was that most of these athletes are killing their bodies for our entertainment. Why do we impose restrictions on them when PDs help them recover? No, I agree from that perspective, but it's got to, you can't, everyone's got to be allowed to take them then. You know what I mean? Like, and I think it's the hypocrisy of people trying to keep a sport clean, but wanting to, we talk about this every podcast, but then you want to see the NBA players play an 82-game regular season plus the playoffs plus the finals, and you want them to do that in 7-game series. So they're playing, if you win the finals, you're playing in over 100 games, and then you want to go crazy if someone's on whatever. So we're off, people. We're about to start. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel, man. It means so much. It really, really does, man. It makes it easier for us to be able to keep going with the channel. So we're about to kick off, and we're off, people. Dillashaw jumps out in the southpaw stance with Cory Sandhagen switching stances himself. Very smart. Switches stances, then goes back to orthodox. TJ trying to cut the distance. Looking very good. Oh, nice inside leg kick by Sandhagen. Sandhagen giving nice switch stance. Nice. TJ's trying to get him up against the cage. He's doing a great job. There's a lot of feints from both guys. Nice kick to the body. Catches it, does Sandhagen. Dillashaw goes looking for a kick to the legs. 1-2 by Dillashaw with a left-hand lead start. Nice inside leg kick by Sandhagen. Sandhagen's finding a home for that kick. Oh, hits Dillashaw with a right-hand lead. Then with a flying knee, but Dillashaw catches him. Inverted triangle now by Sandhagen. These guys are, man, this is crazy. He went from a flying knee to an inverted triangle, and it's in pretty tight. Dillashaw's trying to keep that arm out, but this is tight with those long-ass legs. Is going to be a problem here. I don't know if Dillashaw's going to be able to get out of this. Dillashaw tried to grab the legs. He did. He managed to get out of it. Now Sandhagen's looking for a leg, and I believe he's either going to go for that leg and look to sweep, or not sweep, rather to stand up, which is what he's doing. But Dillashaw's doing his best to keep him down there. Great work by Dillashaw. Really impressed by this interaction by both guys. Whatever happens in this fight, I got my money's worth. Here, I believe Dillashaw is just going to try and hold him here and grind on him from this position here. Man, that was a crazy exchange. The flying knee into inverted triangle. But this is a good position for Dillashaw. Dillashaw has to stay here and use that as much as he can. I believe he's going to. Nice work. Sandhagen will probably start looking for that Kimura that he does so well. Dillashaw's doing a fantastic job here. He's doing a really, really good job. Just wearing him away, taking away a bit of that balance. Sandhagen goes looking for the switch. He's gotten his arms free. Look for knees from Sandhagen in those clinches. Right hand lead by Dillashaw, but a right hand counter from Sandhagen. Great work. Sandhagen's showing him that knee. Oh, nice spinning back kick attempt. Good Granby roll there by Sandhagen. Dillashaw moving on the peripheries. Nice inside kick by Sandhagen. Oh, left hand and a right hand lands by Dillashaw. Right hand counter by Dillashaw, by Sandhagen is slipped by Dillashaw. Nice angle changes by Dillashaw. I have to give him that inside leg kick by Dillashaw. Sandhagen with an inside leg kick of his own. Sandhagen's counter right hand is money, man. It's real good. Dillashaw now fighting in the orthodox stance. Then he's gone back to southpaw. Dillashaw switching stances. Sandhagen's doing a fantastic job too. Outside leg kick by Dillashaw. Inside leg kick by Sandhagen. Right hand by Dillashaw. And Dillashaw once again pushes Sandhagen up against the cage. And he's got his back standing up. No hooks in. Now he looks for a body lock and he drags him to the ground. Granby roll by Sandhagen. Dillashaw's looking to pass the guard. Sandhagen, this could be dangerous for Dillashaw if he gets his knees up off the ground, because the up kicks from Sandhagen with those long legs are very dangerous. Good little elbow from Dillashaw. Sandhagen goes looking for a triangle. Dillashaw manages to get his way out of there. Sandhagen goes looking deep for a calf slicer. Not going to happen there from that position, I don't think. But Sandhagen uses those leg attacks to get him to stand up. Now, this is interesting. He's got his leg tangled up, and he threw an up kick from there. I think he's going to throw another up kick again. Dillashaw with some nice ground and pound from that position. Sandhagen looking to go for an inverted heel hook, for an inside heel hook, whichever way you want to call it. Dillashaw can see it, though. I don't think that he's going to be able to do it. Dillashaw's got his knees facing the ground. He's talking to the ref. He's talking to the ref saying, no, I'm not holding onto the cage. He's just leaning onto the cage. Now, if Sandhagen's looking to, but he took some shots there. He took some shots as he went for the inverted heel hook, and he took some serious shots of Dillashaw there. 1 second ago. Me personally, I'm not judging the fight. I'm just commentating, so don't lose your shit like some people have. But I give Dillashaw that round. I thought Dillashaw got that round. It's not Hud Johns. I don't know that Sandhagen is fighting stupid. It's just the fact that, like, Dillashaw is very good at hitting those angles, and he's got the threat of the takedown as well. Man, that fight could have been finished with that flying knee. It's a tough fight, this one. I don't think it's going to go the distance, man. I do not think it's going to go the distance. Wow. Yeah, man. Marshall's smartest. The inverted triangle was on the there's been some really good moments in that first round. They go, they touch gloves, they're off again. Dillashaw in the southpaw stance. Sandhagen switches. I love how he does that. He switches from orthodox to southpaw, and then he throws a jab from southpaw. Very, very smart the way he does that. Dillashaw straight away closes the distance, goes looking for a takedown. He's in deep. Dillashaw's doing a fantastic job. It's not that Sandhagen's fighting bad, man. Dillashaw's just doing a really, really good job. He's such a well-skilled, well-rounded fighter. Is he going to be able to do this for 5 rounds? I don't know. Is he going to do this for 5 rounds without getting caught with a flying knee or such thing? I don't know. He's going to go looking for this. He's going to go looking for a single leg, I believe. Nice work by Sandhagen to work his way off the cage. Dillashaw throws a massive right hand, just misses. Left kick to the body, caught by Sandhagen. Sandhagen comes running in. Sandhagen switches to southpaw momentarily, and then he's back to orthodox. TJ biting a little bit on Sandhagen's feints. Sandhagen feints a right to the body. I think there is a right high kick coming from Sandhagen at some point here. Nice little jab by Sandhagen. He's got a brilliant jab, does Sandhagen. But Dillashaw's... 1-2 by Sandhagen. Nice shots. Dillashaw's doing good. He's not standing there in that range watching Sandhagen land the jabs, Big swing with the left hand by Dillashaw. He's corralling Sandhagen as much as he can. He's doing a good job of keeping Sandhagen moving back. He's landing some shots, is Dillashaw. He is. They're partially landing, but they're landing nonetheless. Right low kick by Dillashaw. Nice inside kick by Sandhagen. Sandhagen in the southpaw stance. Switches back to orthodox and hits with a right uppercut lead. That was really, really high-level stuff by Sandhagen. I really like it. Really, really, really good. Nice. He connected some shots on Dillashaw. He's rocked Dillashaw. He dropped Dillashaw. But Dillashaw hit a single leg, got the takedown, but he did drop Dillashaw momentarily. Dillashaw's looking for the takedown. Dillashaw with some good head movement, but he got clipped. His nose is bleeding on the bridge of his nose. Oh, right hand. Again, that right hand counter by Sandhagen. This is what I was talking about in those other fights. You see how Sandhagen, he doesn't wind up his shots. He just touches you. And it hurts, man. It cuts you open and it hurts. Dillashaw's cut above his eye. He's got a bad cut above his eye. I hope they don't stop this fight, but it is a pretty good cut. It's a pretty nasty cut, dude. It's a pretty nasty cut on that eyebrow. Right above that eye. They might call the fight. I don't know. They might stop this between rounds. It's a bad cut. And Sandhagen just has to keep landing that jab. He just has to keep landing that jab. Ooh, big right hand. That was the right hand that I was talking about. Nice leg kick by Dillashaw. Oh, big flying knee by Sandhagen. This is definitely Sandhagen's round. There's 1 minute and 35 seconds to go. Dillashaw comes in, tries to close the distance. He knows, man. He knows that there's an expiry date with that eye like that. He knows they could call it, and he knows it's not going to benefit him the longer this fight goes. Sandhagen's doing a good job of sliding out of the way. Dillashaw's right eye is bothering him massively. Right high kick attempt there by Sandhagen. Sandhagen's doing a great job. Now he's changing the angle and throwing that check hook over the top of that eye. Dillashaw's nice close now, looking for the takedown. He's gone to the back. It's a good ride here. There's 41 seconds to go. He's looking for the body lock. He got the body lock. He's in high parterre now. Sandhagen has managed to get back up to his feet. Nice knees by Dillashaw to the legs. He's doing a good job, Dillashaw, man. He's showing good fight IQ as well. Sandhagen's doing a great job defending. I have this round to Sandhagen. I have the first one to Dillashaw, but this is just me. I'm not judging this fight. I'm just watching it and just enjoying the fight and commentating it. I'm just telling you how I'm seeing it. It's hard to score it like that unless you're judging. That's the round. Wow. Yeah, man, Mark Wheeling, that cut is only going to get worse the more times his eyes get hit. TJ's a warrior just to mix it with Cory. The other thing is, doesn't even have to hit the eye; you just have to throw it. And even if my hands are here, my own hands hit the eye. It's a really interesting fight. Let's see what they can do with this cut, if they're going to be able to stop it with the Vaseline and adrenaline. Yeah. Chris K says, YouTube live streams on delay. This video is about 25 seconds behind. Sorry, man. This is all I have. This is the show. The fight is on right now for me. It's live. And we're about to start, people. WW says, did you have the idea of MMA in your head before it happened? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? 451. This is the third round now. Sandhagen he's looking for a spinning elbow so bad. He's looking for that spinning elbow, but man, TJ dropped his level through that left hand. That was really neat by TJ as well. He's stiff jab catches TJ on the way in. Nice front kick down the middle by Dillashaw. Oh, spinning elbow by Sandhagen. Jab to spinning elbow. Good work. He's looking for that spinning elbow all day, is Sandhagen. Because he can catch Dillashaw coming in, and Dillashaw can't kind of see it as well because the eye's starting to bloody up. But again, Dillashaw takes him to the cage, and he's got that body lock, and he's taken the back from that position, looks for that scissor takedown, doesn't get it. But he's making Cory work, and he's not letting Cory have it all his own way. And it does rob Cory of some of that strength and pop in his punches and kicks. But Cory's so fluid, man. There was such a nice little elbow in the clinch there by Cory. Nice little right hand lead by TJ, but his face is a bloody mess. Cory has landed that elbow opener way back up again. And he's able to land those shots really, really easily now, Cory, just because of how bloodied up TJ's face is. 1-2 landed by Cory. Cory doing a really good job sliding out of the way of the shots. Inside leg kick landed by TJ. Outside leg kick landed by TJ again twice. Cory's signaling for him to keep kicking because Cory's landing shots. He's landing nice. TJ lands another leg kick on Cory and another. Cory's signifying that it doesn't do anything to him. He goes looking for a spinning hook kick. Doesn't do much with it. TJ gets a takedown. There's 2 minutes and 19 seconds to go. TJ's trying to sink the hooks in. Cory's defending he's defending quite well in the total position, where making it hard for TJ to sink the hooks in. But TJ's still doing good. He's doing a very, very good job here. He has to keep the fight on the ground. That's a major thing for TJ, and he's achieved that thus far. Internet froze. Why the fuck would it freeze right now? It's not the internet hasn't frozen. It's the ESPN stream freezes because the commentary's still going. So TJ's got it. TJ and Sandhagen back to their feet, but TJ's still continuing to have the clinch and the ride. There's 1 minute and 45 seconds to go. TJ's defending his eye fair bit. Inside leg kick by TJ, outside leg kick by TJ. He's having some success with that outside leg kick, TJ, on the leg of Sandhagen. It's not doing a lot of damage to Sandhagen, but he should keep going to the yes, another nice leg kick by TJ. Now with that hand fighting, when it starts with a nice leg kick by TJ, nice. When that hand fighting starts, it's dangerous from Sandhagen. TJ's now starting TJ's so smart. He's throwing combinations, and now he's pushed him up against the cage again. Very smart, man. The way he does this, he's going to go looking for the legs. I believe a little bit more because he could sneak that round out. He could see Sandhagen shot the double, and then he's back in this ride in this body lock from the back that TJ is doing. So, man, I think TJ is going to win this third round. He's doing a really good job. Dwayne Ludwig is telling him to get the takedown to aim, like shoot for the take, like to go for the takedown. There's 17 seconds to go. TJ's just holding him up against the cage. Yes, there's that scissor attempt. That's very, very good the way he does that. And that's all he needs to keep doing for this round. I think TJ may have won this round. He's landing some good shots. Done. And he ate the left straight right on the buzzer. I think it was right on the buzzer. It's really, really interesting fight. It's a really interesting fight. I think that TJ's found a little chink in the armor there on Sandhagen, and he capitalized on it by using those leg kicks. And I think there's still enough time for him to keep going with those leg kicks. Really, really good. Really good. I like to see if TJ is going to come out and employ more. His cut is so fucking bad. So bad. So bad. I have a 2-1 for TJ at this point. That's me, though. That doesn't mean that I'm right. I'm just watching the fight. I'm not. Nice leg kick by TJ. Nice leg kick by TJ again. And he's keeping his hand up right. Oh, nice leg kick again. Oh, and a left hook by TJ. Right hand lead lands again by TJ. Oh, almost a counter hook there by Cory. Cory hits him with a right hand. Flush right hand. Nice leg kick by TJ. And another leg kick by TJ. Inside leg kick by TJ now. He's landing a lot of leg kicks on Cory. Cory slides out of the way of that leg kick. Superman punch attempt by TJ. Inside leg kick by TJ. TJ hits again the body lock. Nice work, man. Really, really, really nice work. Like in the second round, I thought, Sandhagen was going to be all over him there moving forward. But now Dillashaw, man, he's evened out this fight a lot, in my opinion. And the thing is that Sandhagen, in my opinion, still looks the more dangerous of the two. But TJ's mitigating those threats. It's a really interesting fight. I like it. Very technical, very, very tactical more than anything. TJ's still pushing him up against the cage, kneeing him, attempting takedowns. Sandhagen gets off the cage. Another leg kick attempt, but this time it was checked by Sandhagen. Sandhagen walking him forward. 3 minutes to go in this fourth round of the bantamweight main event. This is when Sandhagen looks so dangerous, when he just comes forward, throwing different feints, relaxed, throwing knees up. There's another leg kick by TJ. TJ swings back on a right hand, but Sandhagen counters that right hand. TJ's face is bloodied up. Sandhagen hits him with a pair of jabs. TJ with a big swing and a miss. Oh, both guys kind of caught each other there in an exchange. Not flush, but enough. Oh, partially caught TJ, but TJ pushed him, bullied Sandhagen up against the cage. Partially gets a takedown. Sandhagen back to his feet. TJ pushing him up against the cage, landing little knees to the thighs. Sandhagen working to get the arms of TJ loose and maybe go for a Kimura, but he can't afford to get taken down again. He can't afford to lose that position that much. He gets his back to the cage. He's starting to make some space. TJ hits him with a little elbow on the break. These exchanges are interesting, man, because Sandhagen's landing shots, and so's TJ. I can't really split it. Like, the thing is, Sandhagen looks better when he's doing stuff, but I don't know that he's been more effective other than the massive cut that he got in the second round. And TJ's pushing and going forward and pushing Sandhagen up against the cage and getting that position where Sandhagen is not doing any damage, and TJ's still, whilst he's still not doing crazy amount of damage, he's still able to land knees to the legs, and he's obviously looking for the takedown. So he is the one landing the knees. And he keeps riding Sandhagen over. There's 49 seconds to go. Sandhagen fighting the grips, getting his back to the cage, and then circling away. 40 seconds to go. Goes for a right hand lead, does TJ. Round 4, significant strikes. They have it 18-15 for Sandhagen. I don't know if that's exactly accurate. I don't know. Another leg kick landed by TJ. Another leg kick landed by TJ, and then a counter right hand by Sandhagen. Sandhagen swinging a miss. Hits TJ with a spinning back fist. 2-1, and another leg kick landed by TJ. Right on the buzzer kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know, Win Morgan, how that stopped bleeding the way that it has. It's insane. Yeah, Cory looks like he may be slowing down. I can't split this fight. I don't know exactly who's winning this fight. Chris K says, TJ whiffing on hooks, Sandhagen should stick with a jab. You know, I agree with you, but one of the things that's affecting that jab is TJ's leg kicks. Because when TJ leg kicks, it's hard for Cory to just put his weight down and jab. So TJ's smart, man. He's throwing those leg kicks really, really well. Nicholas Bright says, Sandhagen has a weird timing, though. You can see TJ anticipating the punches, but getting hit around the guard. 100%. It's very, very technical and very tactical fight, this one. That was a good spinning back kick, man. The cut man is super good, Rick James. They touch gloves. It's a 5th round. I think it's up for grabs, man. Again, TJ with a low kick, which this time Cory has checked. That's what's kind of stopping Cory also from being able to just sit and jab, is because he's kicking those legs. And when you kick with a kicker as well, it stops Cory from kicking as much, because Cory has to move back or pick up his leg to check, you know. So he's not kicking you, and he's also not being able to jab you as well. So good work from TJ to recognize that and throw those kicks. I'm sure they worked on it with his team. Nice left hook by TJ. Cory gets out of the way. Left kick to the body by TJ. Ooh, 1-2 by Sandhagen. TJ doing a good job here, pushing Cory back. Cory switches stances. Inside leg kick by TJ, then a 1-2 by TJ. The 2 lands just. Cory snaps his head back with a nice right hand, but TJ comes back with a counter right hand of his own, which is blocked by Cory, and then TJ pushes him up, drops him, takes him down, and he's got his back standing up. There's 3 minutes and 34 seconds to go. Cory needs to fight those hands, get his back to the cage, and circle away. TJ hits him with a little elbow over the top. Khabib Nurmagomedov says they're 2 apiece, and I tend to agree somewhat. Nice deep double leg by Dillashaw, and he pushes Sandhagen once again to the cage. I can't remember which 2, but two rounds to 2 seems about right, I think. TJ pushing forward on Sandhagen. Sandhagen with a little rip to the body. Nice work by Sandhagen. TJ with another leg kick of his own. Not much on it. Sandhagen landing some jabs. 1-2 by TJ. It's going to come down to these last 2 minutes, man. Let's see how this fight goes. He has to keep pushing Sandhagen back a little bit so that Sandhagen can't get his kicks off. Nice right hand over the top. Nice little exchange there. Both caught each other with right hands. 2 minutes to go. Oh, Sandhagen goes for that left body rip that he throws so well. Oh, nice little jab lands by Sandhagen. TJ with a blast double pushes him up against the cage. There's 1 minute and 41 seconds to go. 17-9 are the head strikes in this round for Sandhagen. But they're not, again, they haven't been clear bang shots. They've been good little jabs that have landed. And TJ's doing a good job of kind of stifling that offense there. Hits him with a nice little elbow. Then 1-2 by TJ. Nice. Been bigger shots landed by TJ. I have to give him that. Ooh, nice. Snaps the head back, does Sandhagen. TJ lands another leg kick. They're starting to exchange. TJ's face is a complete mess. TJ lands another left hand on Sandhagen, and he's in deep on the double. He's not going to get it. Sandhagen did a good job of defending that. There's 55 seconds to go. Sandhagen says that he's grabbing his shorts. Doesn't look like he was. 46 seconds to go. TJ coming forward. Another leg kick landed by TJ. Couple of good left hands there by... Oh, left rip to the body by Sandhagen. 30 seconds to go. Left hook, swing and a miss by TJ. Again, swing and a miss by TJ on the left hook. 18 seconds to go. Lands another low kick, does TJ. Another low kick by TJ. They're both kind of swinging and missing here. 10 seconds to go. 3 seconds to go. And that is the fight. I don't know who won that fight. I don't know who won that fight. Win Morgan says, Phil Sandhagen's shifts just aren't doing as much as usual because of TJ's switching of stances. Would not want to be a judge right now. No, I wouldn't want to be a judge either. And that's what happens when you shift or switch stance. If the other person switches or shifts as well, then that's taken away from what you wanted to do because you wanted to create an angle, and that person now has created their own angle. So it's, you're back to square one kind of thing. That was a crazy fight, dude. Alexandre says, I've got Sandhagen 3-2 or maybe even 4-1. I kind of feel Sandhagen might have edged that 3-2. I don't know 4-1. I have you 118 to 110 for Canelo, says Chris K. TJ says, good night to all you fine people. God bless. Talk to you all next time. Michael Wood says, I think Sandhagen won, but I don't value holding on the fence. I don't know who won. I don't know who won that fight. There were some really good exchanges, and I think that Sandhagen got the better of some of those exchanges. Oh, those rips to the body. Yeah, I think he did enough, but I think he did enough to win. I think he did land some good shots there. And he bloodied up TJ pretty good, Chris K says TJ looking desperate with the takedown, just mostly holding against the fence. I disagree. I think he did push him up against the fence a lot, but he did land a lot of leg kicks and a lot of good shots as well. But I'll probably edge it to Sandhagen myself. I'll probably edge it to Sandhagen. I think 3-2. I think that's how I have it. 3-2. but it was close, man. It could be either way. Maybe thing. So TJ got the win. TJ got the win, which again, I don't categorically disagree with it. Again, I picked the three decisions. I kind of went the other way on all three. It's just a close fight, man. These fights are close fights. That's what happens in a close fight. There wasn't a lot in it. I kind of had a 2-2 going into the fifth, and I thought that Sandhagen might have done just enough to win. But it's exactly what I said, just enough. And it obviously wasn't enough. Well, it's a foregone conclusion because Jan has to beat Sterling first. So if that happens, then we can talk about TJ versus the winner of the two of them, you know. That cut is brutal. I think TJ will be more dangerous going into this next fight because now he's fought, he's moved. Hud John says Sandhagen is dumb, man. I don't agree with you, man. I think that Sandhagen fought a really good fight against a really good fighter, and with his skill set, and he lost a very close decision, which he could have arguably won. You know, it was a close fight. It was a really good fight, man. I really like that fight. All right, guys. Thank you so much for everything. Let me know where. Sorry, Alexandra Benworth says, yeah, I really disagree with the decision. Sandhagen landed the damage and the much cleaner shots in at least 3 rounds in my eyes. Yeah, I thought he landed. I thought he did enough to win. I don't know that he landed. He hurt him. He definitely cut him open. But there were a lot of shots that landed by TJ as well, and I think that TJ landed the heavier shots, and he landed the leg kicks as well. Win Morgan says, feel like I'm gonna have to avoid watching the fights with my friends in the future, so I can tune into these. Been thoroughly enjoyable. Good night, good day, or look after yourselves and cheers, Fab. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much, man. Thank you very, very much, and I will see you guys very, very, very soon. Thank you so much, guys. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you very, 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 very much. A lot of love to you guys, man, and especially in these trying times. Thank you very much.